Hello. We are fashionably late again, as always, just
You
when you
know it.
thought we'd start on time and make it a tradition. Nope. We were talking
No.
about Yu-Gi-Oh! And Chippendale Rescue Rangers, the movie. Watch it. We're not sponsored by Disney Plus. Fuck you, Disney.
Oh,
Give us
wow.
money.
Wow.
That's highs and lows here, real quick.
Highs and
Hard
lows.
sell. Hard sell for that. Give
Oh,
us money.
there we go. Okay,
Sorry.
now I can be heard. There we go. Sorry, my default
That's
device
how
has
I would
changed.
do
That's how you keep. That's how you keep a sponsor on their toes. It's
Yeah.
like
You keep slapping them
praise 'em.
down.
You bring them down and then you praise them again. So
Yeah.
they're just like, what's going on here? Do we need to give this
That's how
person
you play
more
the
money?
game.
That is how you play the game.
It has been a long time since we've run through our giant sponsor
oh
list.
goodness.
Or
Oh,
what that
yeah,
we
we
did
don't
that,
a lot of
we
that
don't
Matt
need
used to
it.
give
I
us.
don't even know where it is. It's in my
That's
phone.
okay.
I could find it.
Yeah, no, I
I
think
will.
it's good. I think all those sponsors have long moved on at this point.
Nope, it's too late. I'm happy to. You can keep playing the game, but I will find it.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
boy.
eventually at some point in the middle of combat, he'll just be like, "One sec,
We're a
guys.
sponsor.
Our sponsors for the day are."
This combat is sponsored by.
All of
But
my
you know
new
who does
special
sponsor
attacks are
this
gonna
video
be named
legitimately?
after.
Renakai 5 because it's
Yeah.
his channel. He has to
I do
sponsor
that.
it.
Yeah.
So
That's
I mean, I don't. Is there really a sponsorship at that point? I don't know.
It's like a work sponsorship. Like your
Yes.
time and effort is
Wow,
being
yes.
used.
I guess
so.
technically Twitch also sponsors it because they host the show and YouTube too.
Thanks,
Aha,
Twitch.
take that.
I mean,
Thanks,
I am
Twitch.
affiliate, so you know.
Thanks, Bezos.
Thanks, Bezos.
Thank-
You're doing a
Isn't he
great
not
job.
like CEO of
Yeah,
Amazon?
yeah,
Did he
but it's
step
so
down?
funny to say his name. So
I
He's
know.
got a fun name to say.
I feel like his name is lexiconed into like dickhead billionaire that owns a
Yeah.
super company kind of
which I
thing.
know he doesn't like. So any way I can make him a little uncomfortable, I'm all on
Like
board
the
for.
Jeffrey Bezos song for a little bit.
Born in 1964.
Well,
5, I thought. I thought it was 1965.
Hey,
I don't
It's
know. Who
four.
cares?
Who cares?
It's
Exactly. Who
song.
cares? He's Jeffrey Bezos.
It's
He's
Jeff
not watching
Bezos.
right now.
He has more money than anyone even knows what to do with.
I mean, basically shot himself into space, kind of space, like
You do.
some
really high,
up-
really
upper
high. and
atmosphere
that's
kind
it.
of shit.
Did he break the ozone? Did he get out of atmosphere?
That's fair. That's fair.
William Shatner did the same thing, and people were happy about that. So
Well, because he deserves to be in real space. He was in fake space for so long.
I know.
He's not that nice of a dude, though.
Yeah, but you know.
I've heard mixed things. I've heard he's nice, and I've heard he's not nice.
You know what?
So.
He worked really hard to get the first ever interracial kiss on television, and therefore I will.
You
give
know
him
what?
that.
That's great.
That's
There you
fair.
go. Kudos for that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yep.
you know, you either
Ironically-
you either die a hero or you live long enough to be.
That's right. That's right.
Ironically,
I'm
we were
just
talking about
giving
Star
that.
Trek before we started.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was just me, Eric, and Brendan on. And Brendan told me he hated the Star Trek movie where Spock talks to the whales, and I just schooled him about that. So
It was a movie. I'll give it that.
yeah,
It was a movie.
I'm going over there for Memorial, and I'm bringing it. We're gonna watch it again, and he's gonna tell me how much he loves it by the end of it. 'cause I'm gonna
I'd
make
be
him keep watching
careful. I'd
it.
be careful, Brennan. We know Ethan's not scared to kill player characters. Darian's dead, so
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. Surprise everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if this
Oh
is
yeah.
your
By the
first
way,
episode-
Darian's not here. If that wasn't clear, by the fact he hasn't said anything, he's not here this week.
Yeah, Matt's in Vegas. I was gonna say this last week, but Brendan was like, "Excuse me, why I go to like ending thing?"
It was
while
a good time
Ian's
for it.
talking. So,
He was
Swiftums
banished to the
is
Shadow
not here
Realm.
right this
Yeah.
week.
Yes.
He did die last week. Got off the show. He didn't quit. He's
No.
still here.
Yeah.
He's just coming back. Not next week, because next week's Memorial. We're not playing next week, so don't watch. If you come expecting a session, you will be sorely disappointed. You will get a blank screen. Or you can watch one of Brendan's
Maybe,
old
I don't know.
videos, or one of our old videos.
I might
catch us
do
up.
something.
You
I
catch
don't
up.
know.
First time
or VODs.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a lot.
VODs,
wow.
Renakai 5 VODs on YouTube.
Like
Watch the
44
whole
today.
show. This is
Jeez.
episode 44. Yeah.
Yeah, 44.
So many.
It's got a
crazy.
whole year's worth of content for you
I
people
know.
here.
Well, 52 is a
Kind
year.
of a year's
so
worth.
52 is a
Yeah,
year.
We're
so.
closing in. We're closing in.
I said almost a year. I said almost
Okay.
a year.
We're within 10.
All right, well,
so.
There's our sponsor.
This'll-
We are sponsored by Wendy's Frosties. Thank you, Nick.
Heck yeah.
Hey.
Oh,
yeah.
Wendy's
Oh,
came
added.
here and just dropped it off for me.
Wow.
As a
For the
reminder.
sponsorship.
The
deal, that's
Wendy.
crazy.
Yes,
No one
wonderful.
can see it, but it's okay.
All right. Wendy's Frosties have been added to the list.
I love it.
Not gonna lie.
Not the company, just their
Wendy's
Frosties.
themselves.
Yes.
Just Frosty.
I will shill
Yep.
for Wendy's. I don't care. They're great.
Wendy's is good. Wendy's
I
is
love
good.
me some Wendy's.
Anyways,
don't, they'll just flame us on Twitter, so we might as well.
Yeah.
So be careful.
Wanna get
everybody's
roasted.
savage on social media.
No, I don't think I've seen Wendy's Twitter get like crazy.
Well,
They
in
haven't, like,
fairness,
roasted
you know
people
what?
yet.
Critical Role tried to do a Wendy's themed like one-off, and they got like berated by their fans because apparently their corporation is like terrible.
I
So,
believe it.
but what corporation isn't?
No,
Well,
they're all
I was gonna say, I think they got berated less because the corporation was evil and because they had gotten a sponsor by a corporation, which is something that streamers and YouTubers have been doing since like 3 years ago plus. So
Since
that
the
just is a thing
dawn
that
of
happens now.
time.
It like as Matt said, you know, you start as the hero, and some days you live to be Raid Shadows Legends, and you just chill that shit.
Yeah.
Raid Shadow.
Whatever the quote is from Dark Knight, I don't remember. What's the quote he says?
Either you die a hero or you
Live
live
long
long
as-
enough.
yeah.
to
Yeah,
make
either
yourself
you die a
become
hero or you live long enough to fucking shill Raid Shadow Legends. So, which Raid Shadow Legends, if you'd like to, you know, support this channel, we'll be more than happy to talk about you for a little bit.
Raid Shadow Legends is the first sponsorship on the list. Just
Yeah,
FYI.
Is it?
It's
the
the
first
meme
one we
one.
talked
Everyone does it, so you know.
It is.
Oh, that's one
don't
of the
think
meme ones at this point. They're
I think
all
all of
memes now.
the YouTubers I watch have at least done something for Raid Shadow Legends. And I remember, God, we're so off topic here. I don't care. I remember like a couple years ago when they were just like, hey, Raid Shadow Legends exists. Back to the show, and now it's like a 7-minute segment on Raid Shadow Legends with footage and CGI and all this crap. And I'm just like, is this game that popular? I know no one who plays it.
I don't know a single person who's played it.
Yeah.
I don't
Everyone
either.
knows about it. No one plays it. So maybe there's like 5 people that play it. And
It's
they're
an
just giving up.
NFT. It's a
No.
lie.
Oh
In
no.
It is
fairness,
a
it is
NFT.
it is a gacha
Oh, no.
game, so they only need 5 people that are giving them money to sustain
True.
themselves.
Brendan, I have a new task for you as our stream host.
Oh,
You need
boy.
to
This
find
is
out how to
gonna
make
go well.
Elyssia NFTs
No.
that we can sell
I-
to
No,
our
I
am
will
not
not
doing that.
partake in this.
I
no.
have no interest in joining in the NFT. Twitch.
Elyssia Shadow Legends.
Elyssia
Legend.
Shadow. A new mobile game,
Yeah.
Elyssia Shadow.
Collectible card game. We should do
You
an
can-
Elyssia collectible card game.
There we
You can
go.
that'd be great. You could draw cards like you get
I'm
like
into
Jamie
it.
Lee Watts as like a character in your deck,
I'm gonna
and like
make
you can
it.
throw them and play. Oh, that'd be great.
You're joking, but like I have so much time on my hands.
Please,
I'm gonna do it.
I will shill a card game that we make. Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
That's it. I'm into it. It's already
Ne-
happening.
next
I'm gonna
week,
bring it
Matt
to Gen
comes to
Con
us.
with me. I'm gonna
Alright.
bring it to
Yeah.
Gen Con with me and sell it to Hasbro, and we're gonna make a
There we
bunch
go.
of money.
Yeah.
By
Beautiful.
we, I mean mostly me, and I will give Ethan a crisp 5.
You know
$5
what?
whole dollars.
It's already worth more than what my writing is to begin with, so I will take it.
Oh.
Yeah, we are.
We kind of keep
Super
things
duo.
above board here.
Yeah, self-deprecating humor tonight, everyone. This is gonna be a fun session. I'm excited.
That's
So
a
let's go
already
ahead.
is.
Session.
I already got the music going, so let's go ahead and I will give us
Look at
a
that.
recap.
Yeah.
Which I was gonna make a joke, but we've
Okay,
kind of already
there you
gone
go.
so off board.
Sure.
I don't know if I'm gonna make it anymore. I was gonna say, on
Make
last
it.
week on the Elyssia stream, nothing of note happened. So let's go ahead and get started. But I won't make that joke. Well, I just did.
Well, that happened.
Yeah. So the party continued to explore the Palace of Heart's Desire. A lot of things happened. I'm not going to lie. The first half of the stream, a lot of stuff happened. I remember
Got out of
Darian got.
hand fast.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said things got out of hand fast.
Yeah.
Things went crazy
Darian
real
got
quick.
Snicker Snack, the
Oh, yes.
like super
Oh.
powerful talking sword.
Sentinel
Got
signed his
kind-
name in the book, so he got all the doors unlocked
Yeah.
for him.
Yes, there's
to
the
go to
book.
all
So
the-
Sentinel signed his name in this book. It unlocked all the doors in the castle for him and anyone that's with him. They got Snicker Snack. They got the last 2 gems with Queen Zatina's memories. But most importantly, they encountered Kalik, the dark sorcerer that had kind of taken over the other, responsible for imprisoning Queen Zatina, for instilling the 3 hags across the land. They encountered him. And after some initial conversation with him, a battle started. A battle which the party won pretty handedly, I would say. I think there was some people getting beat up a little bit, but it was a pretty good fight.
Well,
Um,
down, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think one person went down. It might have been you, Darby, but I don't.
I don't know. No,
100%
I don't think.
remember.
No, I did. Yeah, I went down. I went down once.
I think
Because
you
I
were the
was
only
blinded
one.
and couldn't do like anything because
Yeah.
warlocks
Oh,
into
yeah,
sea.
and I had to do.
Those
I had to pick
golems,
you
those
up.
painted glass
Yeah,
golems.
those best.
Anyways, Kalek surrendered after all his minions were defeated. Kalek surrendered, and that was kind of it. Darian, in his Fae madness, decided that he was going to kill Kalek to obtain whatever minuscule amount of Fae energy this guy had. And obviously, the party kind of, confronted him about it. There was some tension there, and eventually, Jamie grabbed Kalek, tossed him on Sentinel. Sentinel, Darby, who was also littered with Fae energy, took off with Kalek upstairs where Darian gave chase. Kind of a whole thing. The party kind of eventually agreed they were going to go deal with the Jabberwock, figure out what to do with Kalek later. But there was still a lot of tension about it. So Arthur drew his pistol while Kalek was on Jamie's back and shot him point blank in the head and killed him. Which, was a thing. It obviously, it was a thing. It happened. A lot of the party was very shocked by it. I, as the dungeon master, was shocked by it and did not anticipate that happening at that moment. But this wizard, Kalek, the one who caused all these problems, the party that accepted his surrendered, was now murdered. So with that, I think you guys just laid him down. I don't know if you took him
we
with
just
you.
dropped him.
Oh, they dropped him.
No, it was, yeah, no.
There's no reason to
And you
carry him.
guys-
He's dead.
Headed back to face the dreaded Jabberwock, where you did indeed fight it. Pretty difficult battle with some interesting abilities the creature had, but ultimately, in the end, it was slain. Joel was handed over the unicorn horn by, I believe, Jamie, and he went to go and kiss Merle and wake her up, only it became apparent that the only thing needed to wake Merle up was the unicorn horn, not a kiss. So Joel, with his unicorn horn, went to, plant one on her. She woke up beforehand and just clocked him one right in the face, unaware of what was going on. A little humorous moment there for, people who weren't keeping track of the humorous moments I've added into this campaign.
Tally one for humor.
Tally went for humor.
I'm adding
So,
the
yeah.
humor count.
Brendan, are you gonna keep a joke counter?
No, it's gonna.
Should you keep a joke counter? Should you keep a joke counter that works and a joke counter that doesn't work? Because I have a feeling that my works will be like
None of that is going to
4,
be kept
my
track
don't
of.
works will be like 106. So
It is. There's two. It happens too often for me to even remember to keep track of the count for that.
I love it. The count of which ones, the good ones or the bad ones.
Yes. Any joke, just a joke count in general. It's like every 3 seconds there's a new joke that we're saying. Like someone's making a joke.
The Jabberwock is defeated, Merle is awakened, and it became very clear and apparent that Darian is in such a state that he is unable to function anymore. In fact, he is sensing a large amount of Fae energy from Merle, and as all of this goop is draining from his mouth and his eyes, he turns and making his way towards her. Which I think Sentinel utters a very important line of dialogue last session in this moment, which is he turns to Arthur and says, "Who is the bad friend now?" After I believe Arthur earlier in the session made reference to Sentinel about trying to be a good friend to Darian and help him out. Or Sentinel being a bad friend to Darian by essentially not helping him out. So Arthur, doing the one thing that he thinks he should do, impales Darian with his scimitar and ends Darian's life once and for all. I believe that covers everything, or at least everything of great importance for this session. And we will go ahead and we will start there. Still within the throne room here of the Palace of Heart's Desire. Arthur, you've drawn out your scimitar from Darian, who now lays on his back, dead at your feet. It is covered in his blood, a combination of red and black viscera that seem to be intertwined. It's difficult to tell what exactly is part of Darian and what isn't part of Darian. Not unsure of how the rest of the party is, which I will ask in a moment. Joel and Merle are both in shock at what has happened. Probably Merle more so than Joel, as Joel has been witness to a lot of what has been happening while in the other. But for Merle, essentially she has woken up like she had just woken up from her tower excursion where she died. How do the rest of you react to this? We'll start with Sentinel.
Um, yeah, I think Sentinel just. I think he ends up just like falling down and wondering how we got to this point. Maybe he says that at this point, just like, what happened?
Right? Dr. Watts, what's your reaction?
I think Dr. Watts would just would look over. It's clear that he's dead, right? There's no like check and pulse, like
If you wanted to, you probably could, but it would not take you more than a few seconds
yeah,
to
like
realize that Darian
it's
is
clear that he's
he's
soup
dead
dead.
and gone.
He did.
Yeah. So then I would probably
He is on the count.
not even bother with it, but I would go over to Marilli ish and I will start checking her out. I would
Okay.
be like, see like what her body is like, because she's not the queen. She's in the queen's body as far as we're aware. Because you said the only thing that's different from the queen is that her hair has changed. The queen looks just like Marilli, but we were not told whether the queen was an elf or a dusk elf or anything like that.
Sure. So to clear up a little bit, Marilli looks like Marilli does right now. She just has the teal blue hair, identical to Darby. That is the
Okay.
only difference with Marilli that you can tell right now. In terms of how the queen looked, there was definitely like a difference in their look from some of the memories that you guys have
Did you say
witnessed.
the queen had red hair?
Yes.
I
The
thought
queen
that's what you
did
said.
have
She has
yes,
red
the
hair.
queen
So
did
it
have red
changed.
hair.
So yeah, I think I would basically be like, as Marilli is like, standing there shocked at what just happened. I'm gonna be like, hey, can you follow this light? Can I, let me check you out. I'm gonna, see if like what's going on with
Sure.
your body. That'd be my
Go
thought
ahead and
process.
give me a quick medicine roll there, Dr. Watts.
Medicine roll. It's like a cinnamon roll, but not as
Yeah.
Not nearly as enjoyable.
Not as good.
Yes.
Doesn't taste nearly as good.
Tastes
It's
like
that, fake
NyQuil.
cherry. It's that white,
Yeah.
real nasty cherry taste.
Yeah.
yeah.
Pepto Bismol.
Ugh.
Just a 10.
A 10?
Just a 10.
You know what?
Mm.
For what you're looking at here, that's more than enough. You kind of begin to examine her. First off, she is in fact alive. This isn't like a zombie. This isn't
Oh.
some weird undead construct that has been brought forth to you guys to trick you. She is a real, living, breathing person.
Got it. Okay.
She seems to be
Yeah.
in decent health, from what you can tell.
Mhm.
If I'm assuming you're checking her vitals the best you
Yep,
can
that's
in this
the
kind of
point, that's the
situation,
point.
all
Mhm.
that jazz, everything is checking out. Maybe an
Okay.
elevated heart rate given everything that's going on.
That makes sense. Then I'll just be like, again, you don't remember anything
Uh,
past the tower?
no, the only thing I remember is we were talking to Xanthro, and he said something I didn't
Mhm.
understand, and then next thing I saw is Joel's face literally inches from me.
And what a sight that must have been. Let
I'm a little confused why that was the case, but yes.
yeah. And I really don't know how to say this in any particular tactful way, Marilli ish. So let me just come out and say it. Do you hear anything in your head? Is
Like
there anyone else there?
not really, just me, I guess.
Could you try and listen?
Sure. I mean, I can see if someone is there.
I have no idea how this would work.
What
I'm
would work?
I don't know. There's no real way to gauge what may or may not happen to the body you're inhabiting currently. If you are Marilli, which is kind of the bit that's confusing right now.
Okay. Well, considering you said I died, I can understand. No, actually, I can't understand that. I'm this close to, I think, breaking down right now, and the only thing holding me on is the fact that I just watched that man over there impale his friend with a sword,
Hmm.
and I think that's the only part that's keeping me from kind of having a full-on panic attack right now.
That makes sense. How about you sit down on
Oh,
the little
okay.
bed? Yeah.
Marilla goes to sit down, and kind of immediately Joel is right there to try and help her, but she just shoos him away
Mhm.
as she takes a seat.
Um. Yeah. Okay. We'll deal with the rest of this. And Dr. James kind of like look around. It'll be like later. That being said, Sentinel, do you still have that book?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get everybody's names written down.
So the book
The
you
book
did
is back
not
in
take,
the thing.
yeah, the
Oh no,
book you
yeah,
did
we
not
can't
take
take it.
out when
It
you left. It
teleported back.
vaporized and went back to the
Oh,
pedestal.
Okay. Um.
We should probably.
Yeah, we should probably. We should. I don't know what we do next because Marilla doesn't know how to work the castle. So like, I don't know exactly what we do.
Real quick, Dr. Watts, before we get to that, Darby, what was your reaction to the death of
Uh,
Darren?
Probably tilting the hat down, and just kind of, just standing there and muttering to himself, "How did it come to this?" And then he'd pull out 2 cards and quickly scroll stuff on both of them, and then put them away.
Okay. So, Jamie, as you are conversing with Marilla, you tell her to sit down as Joel is trying to help her. Joel still has the unicorn horn. One of the things that happens as he's frantically trying to help Marilla, as she's trying to shoo him away, is that her hand is pricked on the tip of the unicorn horn unexpectedly. In that moment, immediately, Marilla actually begins to ascend in the air slightly. A sort of radiant glow envelops her entire body. Uh,
Okay.
Almost kind of like these sparkling dazzles begin erupting like fireworks around her. And in a flash of light, you see as this blue haired girl is flung forward, striking the ground with a hard thunk. And in her place stands another woman, slightly older, a little taller, with long red hair tied up into a ponytail. You can tell her age due to the fact that like around her temples and in certain areas on her hair, you can begin to see flecks of gray or strands of gray that signify a slight age. She wears royal, bountiful robes, has a crown etched into like her head almost. It almost looks to be a part of her. And the crown is crystallized, appearing to be like a castle. And she slowly, still enveloped in this gold, floats down and stands at the base of the bed where Marilla, or you could say Queen Zatina, slept.
So Marilla was, just for my own my imagination. So Marilla was shunted out of her, so they're now separate, or she
They
changed
are
into this.
they are two separate people at this point. Marilla,
Okay.
essentially, you saw Marilla's body get flung and hit the ground
She's
with like
flipped
full
over.
hard force, and this other woman, bearing almost no resemblance to Marilla at all, besides the fact they're a woman standing there.
Well, I think
I
we've solved that problem somehow.
Hey Joel, why don't you hand me that back? I'm gonna take.
Uh,
I'm gonna reach for the
Sure.
unicorn.
He not realizing that Marilla even touched it, he just hands it to you, and he's like, "I'm gonna go make sure she's okay."
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
Kind of the
Uh,
red-haired queen brushes her hair back for a moment. Oh, well, it has been quite some time since I have seen this place, hasn't it?
From our understanding, it's been, what, 10,000 years?
Roughly, I would say.
Okay. Still doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but...
sure, why not? I'm guessing you are
The queen?
the queen, given the fancy head ornament.
Queen Zatina is what you may call me.
Gotcha.
Fair.
And how are you feeling?
Relieved to finally be out of that girl's body. It's quite cramped in there, being trapped inside another person. I don't recommend it.
No, that tracks actually, because she looked like Marie until now. That actually makes sense.
He seems to understand.
I was about to say
No.
that doesn't make sense because our understanding was that she was trapped in your body, but thinking on it,
Yeah, I
no,
was like,
that
no.
does make sense because it looked like the other girl and not like you. So understandable.
Nope, none of this makes any sense, but okay. As long as Darby
Well,
gets it.
I kind
You
of
must be new
understand
to
this
the
now.
other then. Very little makes sense here. But I am responsible for governing it all. So I am perhaps the queen that is the ruler of making no sense.
Queen of Nonsense. Great title.
I actually do like that title. I don't have it, but I might take it going forward. Thank you for that.
I'm glad we can leave our mark somehow.
Don't mention it, I'll invoice you. We've had a very long and stressful
Yes.
journey. And I'm sure you want to get back to governing this chaos. We took care of
I
your
would.
hag problem.
Oh, did you? Wonderful.
Yep, I will point to the heads on the side of my belt.
Move the 3.
and be
Look at
like,
that. Well, now that is a fine sight if I've ever seen one. I knew when those girls became corrupted by Kalik, they were going to be no good.
Speaking of him, he was also dealt with. Basically, there's nothing left from what turned you into whatever happened here, however long ago it was.
mhm.
Ah, you mean the wizard Kalik.
Yes, he died.
Well, I originally brought him on as an advisor. He was quite wise and helpful at times, but I always sensed a certain darkness in him. It is just a shame that I had opted to trust him over the ever growing presence of despair and darkness that fettered his soul. Even the wise can make mistakes sometimes, it appears.
Yeah, that is certainly a recurring theme here.
Uh,
Um,
Quite curious, real quick. Where is my dragon?
Points to the Jabberwock and or whatever's left of it from Darian doing whatever he did to it.
he was eating it.
Yeah, I don't know how
He had
much he ate
started
of
to.
it.
It was not.
Yeah.
It was. He just
He
had a
was-
couple bites of it, if I remember right. And I was like, it don't taste good, man.
Yeah.
He was
Anything to
eating-
satiate it, though. You know, he had to do
Oh
whatever he could.
my! Look what has happened to you. And Queen Zatina kind of makes her way down the few steps and walks over to the Jabberwock and she places hands on it. Oh, look at you. How the evils of this place have corrupted you so. When we came here, oh, my dear Fredrickson, I was so worried about such things. I was worried that if I wasn't here to protect you, something like this could happen.
That means nothing to Darby, but that means something to me.
That's
what a
sad.
what a sad epilogue.
Which characters are you gonna kill?
Yeah. Well, he's not.
All of
In
that-
fairness, it
all of
wasn't
that,
specified that we killed the Jabberwock. It was still alive. It was just unconscious.
It's incapacitated.
Yeah, it was
But
incapacitated.
he also
That's-
ate
that's right,
pieces
that's
of
right.
it.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's on the count.
he's-
It's incapacitated. We didn't kill it.
That's right. That's right.
You will have to excuse my dear friend here. It's been many millennia since we traveled to this place. In my death, carried upon his wings to a land far away. Why, before I was referred to as Queen Zatina, I went by a different name.
Here it comes.
A name that I find to be difficult to remember if it wasn't for the energies and memories that I've locked within gems scattered throughout this castle.
Oh, snap.
I believe it to be Irina Koyana.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, wow.
But
There
even
it is.
now,
There
even
it
now, I
is.
find myself thinking of myself more as Queen Zatina than that. But there is still a part of me that is that small girl. Scared in Barovia. and the lovely young heroes that helped me out of that situation.
That's crazy.
This ugly lug being one of them.
Still things that make no sense to Darby and have no meaning.
Yeah,
To me, they matter.
cool. Yeah, cool. Lots of
Yeah,
interesting names.
Yeah, lots of nouns that I don't know about, but that's cool.
You'll have to excuse me. Perhaps being sealed inside this other girl has made me sentimental a bit to my past.
That's fair.
Obviously, you are my heroes. You have done much to restore this land. You've killed the hags. You've
Sorry.
released me from this poor woman. There's
You have her
obviously something
memories
that
too,
I can.
Darby.
What? Oh, sorry. Matt said something in the chat.
Oh.
He's watching.
I said you have her memories too, Darby.
Oh
Just so you
yes,
remember.
yes. I know. I have a couple of them.
You've reclaimed the crystals then. May I have them back, please?
Pretty sure they're on the bag of holding.
She turns. She's just like, who has that?
I don't remember whoever has the bag. I don't have the bag.
I have the
I
bag
cannot be
holding.
trusted with
I
the
don't
bag, understandably
not
so.
I
Large
pull
guardian
up.
fowl, would you be willing to give me back the stones, please?
Oh,
Everybody know about
yeah.
these?
Hang on just a
Me?
moment. No one in this land has referred to him as a guardian fowl.
Yeah.
That's because nobody in this land is aware of what a guardian fowl is, except for myself, my dear friend Fredrickson, and perhaps one or two others that I'm unaware of. I'm quite knowledgeable about the lands between, the interdimensions that connect themselves into a centralized, unified universe.
I'm the only one who doesn't know about these things, and I'm feeling really self-conscious about it.
I don't know if that's the only. I mean, well, I know a little bit, but
Wait, what? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you're mumbling, Brendan. What are you self-conscious about?
no. I know a little bit about it, but not nearly. She's probably knows way more. I mean, we've been to interdimensional planes, like. Not anything.
Well, you've been to this
secret.
one, since I believe you hail from a place known as Elyssia.
Don't know how you know that, but yes.
Oh, I know many things, and in fact, I've known of your presence since you've arrived in this world, for I have the power to know all who step foot within the other. But, unfortunately, I was unable to do anything about it. Now, please, Guardian Fowl, if you would return my memories to me.
I'll hand them over.
Excellent. And she obtains the 7 stones and flings them into the air, and you begin to see them circle as they fire off and return to their respective towers. And as they lock into their altars, you see kind of a wave of relief come over Queen Zatina's face, and she goes, "Ah, yes, that feels much better, thank you."
I'm expecting your hair
Well,
to turn into a golden color there. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm really glad that you got your castle figured out. I'm gonna say the same thing I told the last guy who was in charge of this place while you were asleep. Should probably work on a gardener. Gonna be a big task. There's also a group of people
Yes.
outside who have been waiting a very long time for you to speak to them. One of whom is a bear, and I know he's gonna have a lot to say about it.
And 2 of them are frozen in time, as are most of the people in this castle.
Yes, a result of Kalik. If you would like to follow me, I may rectify the situation.
But don't think
I-
we
Sure.
have anything else to do, really.
I would very much like to not be here anymore. But yes, let's do
Yes,
that.
of course. A return home for you. But first, you have done so much for my land, so much for the
We do
other.
need something.
Surely I can offer you something in return. A prize, a reward of some kind.
I mean, there is
Yeah.
something we're here for, aside from
Yeah.
Okay.
you.
Please name it. If it's in my power, I will give it to you.
Go ahead,
I'm
Darby.
not sure what to call it, honestly. I mean, it's a map piece. That's about all we
Ah.
know of it as.
You're referring to the map, to the weapon that can destroy the beckoning, are you not?
You know way more than I think any of us ever expected you to know about anything.
It is quite an interesting experience, really, to have someone come to me, perhaps 1,000,000 years ago, and sit down upon my table and speak with me about this map piece. A man in glittering gold and green armor with blonde hair, quite a confident jib about him, asking me to keep it safe, keep it secret. So I did just such a thing, and it was within my library.
You folded real quick. You
Yeah,
just told us all about it.
very secret, very safe.
Well,
Well,
we will take it.
claim,
but
He did claim that at some point somebody would come and request the map piece from me.
okay,
which-
prophecies and
It appears to be that you are the ones that were foretold to me. Allow me to correct the problem of the castle, and I will have one of my librarians come and deliver it to me. It is all yours.
Appreciate it.
I will mind you, though, that if you seek to do anything of foul nature with such a map piece, I will come down upon you with the weight of the other, and it will crush you and your generations and the generations after that. Just a pleasant word of warning. I have dealt with dragon goddesses before. I am not afraid to crush a mortal man that dares stand in my way, or the way of my
Unless-
people.
Unless he's
So,
old
we-
and tricks you into falling asleep for 10,000 years, but I'll keep that in mind.
Yes, I don't think we have any intention.
Wise people can, in fact, make mistakes. They let you into the castle, I see. That is just a joke. Come now, let us wake the people.
Okay.
So from
Yep.
there, if you follow Queen Zatina,
Arthur
I actually
will not move.
He's just standing.
Arthur is still on his knees in front of Darian. He will not be
Okay.
following.
Arthur, you don't have to necessarily join. I'm actually going to bring us real quick back to the palace map because there
Okay.
is one final area that I'm going to reveal, which is going to be just
Oh!
north of you.
Don't mind the camera. I'll
There's a
fix it.
chamber with a round table, and within the center of that round table is a massive cauldron. There is also a man in there clutching a staff as if he's blocking something with his said staff. And he is frozen in time like 80% of the other people in this friggin' place. So Queen Zatina walks over. She places her hand on the cauldron and she begins to recite some ancient unknown language that sounds like a bunch of gobbledygook and gibberish and whatnot. And very quickly, a swirling purple mist begins to form at the top of the cauldron, wafting upwards, almost like a tornado. And as she speaks the final word, it blasts outwards. And you get this almost like breeze feeling against you. And you don't see the immediate effect upon you, but the man who is frozen in time, you actually begin to see his like fingers twitch a little bit. His exterior, almost as if there's like a film over him, begin to slowly crack and crumble and dissolve off of him. And he kind of begins to move, stretching himself. The rest of this film sort of freezing and hardening upon him and dropping off, leaving a small bit of gold dust at his feet. He stretches his neck and goes, "Well now. Oh, it has been so long since I've been able to move these old muscles of mine."
Welcome, I guess.
This is my court wizard, Rakovius. Perhaps one of the victims of the poor, unfortunate situations we found us in. Rakovius, I have a task for you. Please go to the library and fetch these gentlemen the map piece to the weapon that destroys the beckoning. I believe it is in aisle 14, over in the section with God-destroying weapons and the type of things upon like that.
Oh, of course. Yeah,
Well,
it's just mainly.
My lady, I just awoke a few minutes ago. Exactly, you have more than enough time to recover yourself. Please, Chop Chop, they don't have much time. They wish to return home. This man made it very clear to me they wish to return home. Oh, my aching back. And he just begins to, like, teeter himself out to go and fetch you this map piece.
It looks like royalty is the same no matter where you go.
Yeah, nothing changes, huh?
Super cool.
Now, see, the funny thing is, he lost a bet to me, and he owes me 1,500 uninterrupted, uncontested things that I ask of him. I believe he's on 758, so he's still got about halfway to go.
Done deal. Fair enough. No more questions from me.
Amazing what a card game can do for somebody.
I know, right?
This
People,
one understands.
people just give you things in card games. It's insane
really
what they'll
do.
put on the line.
Oh, if it wasn't for my dear Fredrickson, I wouldn't have learned how to play cards in the first place. I would not be
Oh.
nearly as good as I am. You would not believe the number of people that have come in here wanting something from me, and I've challenged them to a card game, and they've lost. And I've sent them on their way because the things that they want are so stupid. We already have triple doors here in the castle. Why would you want quadruple doors? There's so many things that would be better spent with our time.
I did notice the triple doors. It was very peculiar.
That's amazing.
Yes.
They're completely impractical and useless, but Fredrickson wanted them, so we put them in.
Of course. Yeah. Do what the dragon wants.
Is there
Understandable.
anything, well, my dear wizard fetches me the map piece, is there anything else that you wish to ask me? Anything else you would like to request?
Yes.
Of course.
Well, there's a couple things that we need to do.
No, there's one thing, right? I don't think I need you for that.
I don't know if you have any way of sending out an emissary, but there is a very good chance that there is an army of very angry bunny people on their way to the castle at some point, who have pledged to meet us here and fight. They clearly didn't get here that fast. One of them is really good at, what was it?
Cornhole?
Yeah, one of them's really good at cornhole. Cornhole Kenny.
Um,
Cornhole Kenny.
Interesting.
You might want to send somebody over there to let them know that the fight's over.
I can most definitely do that. I'm assuming the bunny brigade within Hither.
Yeah.
Well, what's left of it?
Well, what's left of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm glad that Agdon Longscarf is no longer their leader. He was quite the nasty one.
Well, not my favorite guy here, but
No.
honestly, didn't reach the top of the worst people here. So
Somehow.
He's more of a mid-tier, if you were to ask me.
I could see how you would say that. How long do you think it's going to be till we get that map piece?
20 minutes? He just has to find it.
Okay, how fast does that chariot go?
I mean, it goes pretty quickly. If you'd like to use it for something, you're more than welcome to. If you'd wish to return somewhere to this land, I can have the map piece waiting for you.
Yeah,
That
actually would
sounds like
work
a
really
move.
well. Yeah.
All right, I would be like, hey, Sentinel, you want to come with me? We got to go drop something off.
Okay.
I
Where
would start heading to the.
are we dropping things off?
I'm gonna wave the unicorn horn as I'm walking to where the thing is.
Understandable.
Who is going to join them on their little quest to the unicorn horn?
I do want to use the chariot, but I don't want to go there personally.
Where
I
are you
don't-
trying to go?
I wouldn't mind having a conversation with Sue again before we leave. I don't know if anyone else wants to say their goodbyes to Sue or not, but
I like Sue, so we could. If you are trying to hit Sue up before we leave, it's fine with me.
maybe we'll see if Arthur wants to have a quick chat or not, or if he even is responding to anything.
I'm gonna have to go talk to Arthur.
I'll look at him.
Joel, Marilli, how about you guys stay here in the castle and keep an eye on Arthur while we get the rest of this shit done before we leave.
Sure, I mean, Merle's trying to get her sea legs right now, but Darby, aren't you checking on her? On him?
I'll go see if we can get Arthur to come with us. If not, then he's here, and you need to make sure he doesn't do anything stupid.
If you need me to do it, I can do it, because I'm the king at doing stupid shit, so I can make people not do stupid shit.
I'm beginning to have less trust in this. All right. Let's go see.
Hey,
if we
I
can...
did wake her up, remember?
Yep, that did happen.
All right, Darby, so you kind of go over and approach Arthur, who's just sort of... Arthur, I believe you're just kneeling at Darian's feet, or not his feet, but
Yes, sir.
his body.
As they, in the meantime, when Darby returns to where Darian is laying down, Darian will have his arms crossed across his chest, 2 gold coins on his eyes, and Arthur will have stepped over the body to where this balcony is here. I'm just kind of looking out into the storm.
Darby will actually approach Darian's body first, and just go, you know, Arthur, by the time we start heading out of here, and he'll place one of the cards that he wrote on. I'll just slip it into one of Darian's pockets.
As you do that, Darby, a voice asks you something. Mip, why do you propose that he went ahead and did that? Well, I don't know, Pip. That's a really interesting thing that he just did there. And
Ooh.
at Darian's body or corpse are Mip, Pip, and Squeaks.
You're okay. Why are you here? First off, one moment, Arthur.
Well, obviously, our good friend here died. We're the ones that gave him all his powers, isn't that right, Mip? I mean, Pip? That's right, Mip. Well, it wasn't us. Technically, it was Squeaks. Squeaks, why'd you fuck up so badly? Squeaks! I know, Squeaks. If you hadn't have given Darian your powers, he wouldn't be in this situation right now. He'd still be alive, living his life, but you went ahead and you gave him powers and you fucked it all up. Isn't that right, Mip? Well, Pip, I don't want to put it in that harsh of words, but you really did fuck up, Squeaks. Squeaks!
Darby will just
Squeak.
glance over to Arthur and see if he even hears any or notices any of this.
Do you, Arthur?
Arthur hears it, but he's not going to engage. He's got his back turned to them and is going to be looking over at the balcony.
Just making sure that I'm not going insane. Okay. I still don't fully understand. So yeah, he's dead. Why not? Why are you him now? I don't.
Well,
not sure
it's
what's going
pretty.
on.
It's pretty clear. Squeaks is going to reclaim a bit of Darian, some of Squeaks's powers, and kind of lay him to rest officially. Isn't that right, Pip? Well, that's right, Nip. It kind of when one of us fey creatures, spirits, whatnot, gives someone powers like this, it's only fitting that when they finally pass on, we claim it back with a little bit of a piece of them too, so that they're always remembered. Right, Squeaks? Squeaks. That's right, Squeaks. You did progress. You fucked up.
Okay. then.
Really getting raked over the coals here.
Oh, for real. What part exactly would you be taking?
Well, whatever's left of his soul, obviously.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know why I thought it'd be anything else.
Squeaks is gonna just, kind of perform a little thing here real quick, and then we'll be on our merry way.
Okay then. I'll
So-
let you do your thing. I'm gonna go talk to the sad pirate over there.
So as you go to talk to the sad pirate, Darby, you can kind of see as Squeaks kind of plucked the 2 gold coins off of Darian's eyes and puts them in his mouth and ingests them. And you begin to see like this almost like blue radiant energy coming from Darian's body and entering Squeaks's body. And there's like this swirling energy in his chest. And Nip and Pip are kind of looking at Squeaks, and as it ends, Darian's body almost goes a little grayer than it was before. It had a slight pinkish nature about it, but now it is more of a dull gray, definitely dead. All of like that ooze that was on him has been cleared from him at this point. It seems to be relatively preserved. And Mip goes, well, Squeaks, how are you feeling right now? Well, I gotta admit, I feel pretty good. Mip, feel real good right now that I've got my energy back. Would you hear that, Pip? Squeaks is feeling real good. I did, Mip. He's feeling real fantastic. It's good to have him talk again. Yeah, I gotta admit, it's real nice to be able to speak again. Saying Squeaks to try and communicate this entire time was real difficult.
I'll say. Nothing makes sense ever in this place. All right, Arthur. We're leaving soon. We're gonna go talk to Sue, and then we're out of here.
All right,
I don't know.
I can come.
I don't know what you want to do about the whole situation there, especially after they, Pip and Squeaks did whatever it is they did. with their
Well, I'm not
magic.
gonna just leave him here, so I'll make sure Joel and Merle, I guess, oversee the body. I'd like to bury him back home.
I kind of figured.
But once I do that, I'll come. No problem.
Okay.
I'll just kind of walk over to Joel and tell him to keep an eye on Darian's body, and I'll walk over to where the chariot's at.
And you. I don't know, I'll talk to the queen, maybe see about getting him something like, to put him in. So he's in, something a little more nicer than the ground.
We don't need even just something to carry him in would be nice for him to carry the corpse
Yeah.
around.
What Dark
weird.
I actually think Darian might like being in the ground.
Yeah, but in something like nice that goes into the ground. Shit, I'm bad at this shit.
I believe he means a
What-
casket.
Whatever you think's best, Joel.
Yeah,
You
I
figure
got you.
He's human. You know what humans do. But I guess I will.
You
Accompany
hear,
Arthur back.
as you say that, Darby, you hear Joel Sanders' breath. Generally, it's a bitch about who gets the money, but I mean, okay.
We'll unpack it
All right.
later. We'll pack it later. I will bring Arthur to everyone. I assume they're probably at the chariot.
Yeah, I'll assume probably Jamie and Sentinel. I would guess that you guys have already made your way towards the chariot while Darby was doing all this.
I would assume so.
So you guys are there, and then Arthur and Darby kind of follow up behind.
Well, I got him.
All right. Great. Let's get in the thing and let's get this loose end figured out.
Yeah, both of them.
Right, you guys board the chariot. It's a bit cramped due to Sentinel's size. But you guys are able to travel wherever you want within the other at this point.
Yeah, I mean his
within
side
the
is also
3 rounds.
making it cramped. In fairness.
Yeah, I think I would want to go back to the
Yeah, the
place where the
unicorn
unicorn
first is
was
fine.
at.
Get that out of the way.
Lamorna, the
That way we don't have to
unicorn at
carry
the
the horn around anymore.
Yeah.
Get that.
So is that the first stop in Thither then? Is the Wayward Pool to visit the unicorn Lamorna?
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think that would be the move.
The unicorns in the chariot that guide this, or they're not unicorns, excuse me, Pegasus, do not need any active command. As your minds and souls kind of focus in on a specific location, these crystallized, ghostly Pegasus spring into life, flapping their wings, galloping their hooves, and immediately take the chariot off and begin flying it across the land through the fog. Which one thing you begin to notice is that mist, that fog that seemed to permeate everything here in the other, is beginning to dissipate, and
Hey.
now you can see clearly. Now that the rain is gone, you can see
Nice.
clearly the 3 lands: the treacherous mountains of Yon, the swamps of Hither, and finally the forests of Thither. That the chariot that you are in begins to make a very violent and sharp turn towards, kind of rocks everyone as they are tossed about within the confines of the chariot. And after 20 or so minute ride within this thing, not very long, it's a very quick carriage, you touch down outside the Wayward Pool.
Okay. I would get out and make my way kind of back to that little island that's in the lake, I guess. Or actually, no, I don't really want to go all the way through there because I have to get wet. I would just gonna stand at the edge of the lake and I will hold out the unicorn horn and just be like, I just hold it out. I would assume that this unicorn might know something.
After a moment of holding it out, Dr. Watts, the unicorn does appear from the mist over the lake, and she steps out towards the group. Ah! You have returned, I see.
Yeah. Well, we said we'd bring you back your mate's horn.
Oh,
Sorry about the fact that they got turned into a rocking horse, but we figured this might give you some solace.
I thank you much, travelers. And she kind of lowers her head, her horn glows, and Jamie, as you hold the unicorn horn, it immediately floats in the air as long as you don't grab it, and will kind of flutter over to the unicorn. And upon touching the tip of her horn, it kind of like glows and dissipates within it. You actually can kind of see that her horn grows a little bit and gets a little bit longer. Good Elios will remain a part of me until I die. Me, last unicorn of this land. I thank you again, travelers, and will offer you a gift for such a thing that you've done.
I mean, you don't need to do that, but if you want to give us something, I'm not going to turn away. I won't turn it away, but it's not needed.
She immediately begins to kind of bar her hoofs into the murky swamp, kind of the beach of the water, and she kicks up 4 pebbles, glowing almost like pearls, they look like. And if each of you claim one, you will have advantage on one roll of your choice, and they recharge on a long rest.
Ooh, free
Ooh.
advantage, Pearl.
I will definitely taking one.
I will write it down in my stuff.
Yeah. Create a custom item.
Advantage.
If you'd like, you can call it Pearl of the Unicorn. And as I said,
Okay.
it gives you 1 advantage on a roll of your choice, whether that be an ability check, an attack roll, or a saving throw. And it recharges upon a long rest.
Very cool.
I shall take my mate now and head off into the mist. If you ever find yourself with the other again, or thither specifically, do not hesitate to call upon me. And she turns and walks off into the mist before vanishing.
Okay. Well then,
Well, we'll have to go
got
see
that
Sue.
figured out. Yeah, it'll be nice to see a friendly dish face.
Whatever she is.
All right. If you guys reboard the chariot, again, your mind and souls commands you to the inn that Sue commands, and it takes off, makes its way to thither. Takes a little bit longer to find her because it's a roving inn. It doesn't sit in any one spot. But as you're flying over hither, and I probably should have said this with thither too, there seems already to be an air of lightness to it, an air of sort of pleasure, happiness is reinvigorating itself into the land. None of the trees within thither had the hanging bodies from anymore. They've already begun to bloom again. You can kind of see buds starting to form along the tree branches. As you make your way to hither, all of the murky swamp is kind of blossomed up into this kind of beautiful bog, you could say, with these exotic flowers. The terrible swamp like mists and smells that you remember have all but dissipated at this point, except for a few pockets in some of the areas that were the most heavily controlled by the darkness here within the other. And after about 40 minutes of traveling looking for Sue's Inn, the chariot touches down outside the roving structure, which has camped itself out somewhere close to the hill where you met Jingle Jangle.
All right,
Yeah.
we touched down.
All right, you guys are outside the inn.
Let's head on in, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, you guys make your way on inside, and unlike the last time you were here, where everything was very quiet, you were the only patrons, this place is now bustling, busy. But the patrons are not tangible creatures. They almost seem to be fragments or echoes, ghosts of previous tenants, or maybe even future tenants that are wandering the halls, wandering the different rooms, the tap room, being served food and drink that are coming out in droves from the kitchen by the different utensils. And there serving it all is the face of Sue, a conglomeration of forks and knives, salt shakers that have created a disturbing yet friendly face.
Sue,
We're back
we're back.
I
again.
was trying to remember the voice I gave Sue, so if it's different, I apologize. But, well, now, you're all back.
Yep.
Yes.
Darby wanted to talk to you, so
Yep.
we're back
I
here.
didn't
and
expect any of you to be back. Can I fix you a meal? Would you like something to eat?
I'm gonna look at Sue completely confused with her sentence of "I didn't expect any of you to be back," given what I know about Sue.
That's true. That's fair. I'll leave that up to you guys. I don't know if anyone wants to stick around
No, my
too
my
long.
appetite is pretty gone, to be honest.
Kind of figured. Pantalon?
I mean, I'm up for a meal. Anytime.
Annie Stu will get it right ready for you.
Thank
Take a
you.
seat at the bar there. I can talk to your desk elf friend there whenever he's ready.
I'm ready whenever, though I would like it to be a relatively private conversation.
From the corner of the inn, Jamie, you recognizing it, a trap door hidden almost perfectly in the floorboards shoots up, knocking away a chair that was resting upon it. Well, if you'd like, you can make your way on down there. I just can't warn you enough about what you might see, so try not to pass out like some people do. Your one friend was very good about it.
Can't say I even noticed that I was there the whole time. Oh.
Nope. Gotta be paying attention.
And apparently, well, I guess I will just immediately head down. I'm here for
We'll
my own stuff.
post up at the bar with Sentinel. I'll ask for a drink.
Not no.
'Cause remember, it's like the greatest drink of all
Greatest
time, or
thing I've
whatever
ever
it
had.
was.
Yeah, it's whatever your favorite drink you've ever had is. So, Arthur, whatever you want right now, whatever's gonna cure your ailment the most, you are given a big old 24-ounce glass of it. And
90
Sentinel,
proof.
you are given a delicious and nutritious plate of beef stew,
Ooh.
Ooh, beef.
adorned with carrots, potatoes, peas, mixed in a sauce created from beef fat, different gravies, all congealed and mixed into sort of a thick roux that has been lightly dumped upon the slab of chuck roast that has been presented to you.
I enjoy a good slab of chuck roast.
It's a good slab of
Chuck
chuck roast. It has
roast.
been slow cooked.
Yeah.
So Darby, you climb down the stairs. Dr. Watts, are you joining Darby or are you staying up with everyone else?
I think I'll head down with Darby. I like talking with Sue.
So Dr.
Oh,
Watts
wait, no,
and
he said
Darby,
he
you
wanted
guys
it to
head.
be a private. He
Yes.
said he wanted it to be a private conversation. I will not. I will.
Okay.
I'll just hang out. I don't know if I would want to stay in the inn, but I'll just hang out.
Okay, are you gonna hang out outside with the chariot then?
Yeah. I'll tell Sue like, hey, I guess I'll see you next time you come to the Safar Inn, and it'll be our treat. And then I will.
If I
walk
ever
out.
find myself where you hail from, I'll be sure to swing on by. We can exchange in secret.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll be outside with the chariot.
Alright.
Darby, you descend down and you see the gelatinous, gluttonous, fleshy mass that is Sue with all the different limbs that are sticking through the holes to move the in. It's faceless, it's veiny, it's vilely disgusting. But this is Sue.
Mm. Nope. Nothing would have prepared me for that one. Not gonna lie. Never seen anything like it. Oh, God. Okay. So I assume then that whatever this is you, Sue?
Yep, this is me in the
Okay.
flesh. Literally.
Yes, lots of it. Okay. Well, I'm gonna be honest. I'm here for very personal reasons.
Okay.
If what Jamie has said about you and a potential another version of you that resides in our realm, I'm gonna need some questions.
I'm the only
answered.
version of me. I traveled here.
Yes. Archons, I believe, is the term he used.
Yes, the Archons.
Okay. So that's a thing. It's a real thing.
Of course, it's a real thing.
Okay. That's great. And from my understanding, there happens to be one that resides in Elyssia as well.
There are several that reside in Elyssia. Actually, most of them reside in Elyssia.
Interesting.
Of the 7, I believe I might be the only one that traveled outside its realms. But I'm not sure about a couple of them. I have lost contact with most.
Interesting. Interesting. I mean, if all of you Archons are connected and are in contact with each other, I assume you probably already know a little bit about me and one of your Archon friends, Gamar.
Nope. I know about Gamar, but I don't know anything about you.
Interesting. All right. Well, I have some questions about
Sure.
your kind and things relating to that. And
Well,
I
if
want to
I'm
make it
able to answer, I will.
I want to make it clear up front. None of these are directed at you specifically. They are mostly for him.
For Gamar,
Yes.
what is your relationship to Gamar? It's very odd for an Archon to single out a singular person.
Well, the easiest way to put it is I made a deal with a devil, and here we are.
Oh,
Yes.
so you made a deal with Gamar then?
Yes. He gives me
I'm
power.
sorry.
Yeah, it's not fun. But he gives me power, and I give him money in return.
Oh, it's money.
Yes.
Oh, well, that's a relief then.
I don't even want to. You know, I'm not. I don't need to know that. All right. So, the main question here, I guess, question and then potential follow-up. Has anyone ever overtaken or assumed the position of one of you Archon types?
Now, that is an interesting question that you ask. Because to say take over or assume the position means that somebody would need to take control of what we once controlled, correct?
I suppose. I'm not really sure
Then
how
you
you
could
work.
say that the goddess and the brother that hail from your world overtook us Archons. Even if such a gift was, in a way, granted to them.
Interesting. Interesting.
You mean you wish to kill an Archon, don't you?
And take his place, yes, but semantics.
Ah. Gamar is an interesting fellow. Of all of the Archons, he is the one I most struggled to get along with. He is the Archon of pleasure, obviously. An incredibly selfish individual who has
Yes.
built his entire empire and kingdom, his very being on hubris, greed, self-satisfaction, pleasure, masturbation, those sorts of things. A powerful being and individual that has reveled in the sins of the world. And you wish to kill such a beast.
If that means taking his place, then yes. I wouldn't mind running his
So
establishment.
you wish to become the Archon of pleasure then?
I suppose, if that's what that entails.
Well, it is a difficult thing to entail, isn't it? For you are a mere mortal. You have not traveled the way that we Archons have, to the forefronts of the universe, building upon cultures and civilizations into one conglomerate, which we saw fit at the time. And thus that's where your world, as you refer to it now as Elyssia, was created. And you wish to become one of these creatures.
I don't know if I necessarily wanted to become one of you, more so I just wanted to take his place and run his whole thing.
His earthly possessions, then, you could say.
I suppose. Whatever his
None of the...
interdimensional space is.
Ah, yes, his bounty, his gambling halls,
Yes.
his
Many
revelries.
servants, all of the gamblers,
Ah,
everything.
you
All
are
the
a man
money.
of pleasure, then. All the money. You wish for riches beyond your wildest dreams.
Well, I only see one person richer, or that is the richest in the land, and that's him. So
Mm. It is possible to kill an Archon. We are divine beings, but divine amongst people is merely a concept, a title assumed to something or someone from a lesser group that is unable to comprehend the powers or the being that stands before them. Why, to the divine, another divine is nothing more than a thing, a person, an object, an entity, or whatever. Why, to me, Gamar is nothing more than a spoiled brat who cried his way into a situation and managed to manipulate a few people into giving him what he wants.
yes,
You would also have to figure out a way, tiny man, to make it so that the divine is less divine and more, in your case, Dusk Elf, or human, or Gorg, or dwarf, or whatever thing you'd wish to prescribe to at that point.
okay, okay, okay. No, I think I can work with that. I think I can restructure my entire plan because not knowing that he was as powerful as he truly was kind of threw a giant wrench in everything.
I will warn you of something about Gamar, as I have known him for. Why, I can't even remember a time where I did not remember him. For we have been together for so long that those distant memories are gone at this point from my mind. Gamar is an immensely selfish individual.
Yes.
He is not afraid to cut and cleave, glean what he needs to continue to maintain his lifestyle. You best watch yourself, my friend. For if he were to hear of such treacheries, if he were to become privy to your thoughts and feelings, assuming he hasn't already, you may find yourself in a well of hurt. If you wish to destroy an Archon, you must become apart from the Archon. And that is Elysia's problem. They can never truly part from us.
Thing. Well, Sue, I got, I believe, everything I needed out of this. All I needed to know is that there is a chance and a possibility, and I will find my way to exploit it as best I can. That's what I do. You have a wonderful time running this place, and if you do ever find yourself in Elyssia, as Jamie said, I'm sure we're more than happy to welcome you, hoping that you don't look like this, no offense, but I don't know many people that would be very happy to see this anywhere.
I stay in the basement.
I can understand that.
I will say this, that if you ever do find yourself unseating Gamar, send him to my inn. It's been quite a time since we've talked, and I know what his favorite meal is, and I know that he wants it.
I will do my best.
Well, good luck to you, Darby. I hope it goes well.
I do too. And Darby will climb back up, I guess.
All right.
While
Darby-
while he's having a conversation with Sue, can I jump back and talk to Sentinel for a moment? At the
Yeah,
bar?
of course. By all means, while this is happening, Sentinel, you are enjoying your delicious beef stew as Arthur sips an ale next to you.
When Darby goes down the stairs and Arthur's done staring at his drink in front of him, he'll just kind of, without turning to Sentinel, he'll just start off by saying, "I'm Sentinel. I'm sorry." I feel like I fail every time I try and do something. I try and be like you. I try and be like Jamie and do something. I have a friend who I feel is struggling with something, and I can't. I don't know what it is. There's part of me that wants to do the right thing, and then part of me knows that I have to do the wrong thing. And time again, I'm reminded, I'm kicked down, that it's my lot in life. It's not an excuse. It's just me. So I'm sorry.
Thank you, Arthur, for letting me know. I can't say that I have had much life experience to know a lot of what is right and wrong in the world. And I don't quite know what to say really to all of that.
But you do a great job. For somebody who's either naive or just gifted, your compass works. And for a bad analogy, mine is broken, and it's been broken for some time. And if I continue to fail at being good, at least I will try my best not to continue to be a bad friend. So I'm sorry for what I said to you earlier, and nothing I can say will make up for my actions, but I would like to know you more. I think about your friends that we've met, Doomlance, Lilyhammer, and people know you. They don't just know of you, they know you. And that's something I felt with a little bit with Darby. It's something I felt I was growing with Darian, and to see how that turned out, wonderful. And I guess I've kept you and Jamie kind of at arm's length because I don't see. There's no smudge on you. There's nothing. There's nothing behind the curtain, and I feel like 90%, 99% of me is behind the curtain. So getting to know you puts you at risk. Getting to know you, becoming closer to you, means you're closer to ending up like Darian.
Well, Arthur, I've seen you will go to the ends for a person, for a friend. And for what it's worth, I know you said that you're the worst of the friends, and I don't think that's true at all. And so I stretch out my wing, and as we have been just kind of looking into my beef stew and Arthur and his mug, I say here's to new beginnings, and maybe someday I'll get to hear a little bit of what you've gone through in life. And Darian mentioned quite a few times, maybe in fits of rage, maybe he meant it, maybe he didn't, but he challenged me and let me know, sometimes I have to think for myself. And a lot of times I've been sent out on this journey to find out what it means to be someone who saves or cares for my community, and I'm figuring out there's a whole mess of it and not really a right way or a guiding light to get there. And so at least I have you by my side and the rest of our group to try to figure out even our little print on life. It started with was far in and may go beyond then. And I guess we'll figure it out a step at a time.
You're far kinder than you need to be. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And I slide over my beef stew, see if Arthur needs a bite, as I seem to be full at this moment, and see if he needs.
Arthur
Someday.
will eat it like a slob.
It's a good beef stew. It's got little dumplings in it. I don't want beef stew. Crap, man. I make
I
myself
know.
Yeah, I
hungry.
know, right?
Some Dinty Moore on the phone.
Yes. After as you kind of finish up the leftovers that Sentinel gave you, Darby emerges from the trap door, with a little bit of like air of insight about him.
Or you'll see Arthur kind of like turn his head away and like fake cough really loud to kind of like wipe his face, get his composure a little bit, take a swig of his drink, and stand up. Ready to go?
Yeah, I got everything I needed out of this.
Get your answers.
I did.
All right, you guys head on out where Dr. Watts has been hanging out with the Crystal Pegasus, doing what he's been doing. Dr. Watts, what have you been doing in this probably like 40
just
minutes or so that you've been waiting?
40 minutes, damn.
Been here a while.
I would have just been probably just tinkering with this stuff that I have. I still have a whole lot of things to play around with, so I am pretty much doing that, writing some stuff down in my notes. I have some ideas for when I get back home and I get to my lab.
Understand.
I will say, if you wanted to, because I know Sentinel has it, he has the woodcutter's axe that could be crafted into a beak axe, which I would say you would have the ability to do if you so chose to do.
Oh yeah. I would fashion that into a beak axe for Sentinel at some point. Yeah, I think that's the move.
Right? Sentinel, when you return, Dr. Watts has the woodcutter's axe now fashioned and equipable by you. You may equip it. I believe I gave you the stats last week. Do you need them again?
Nope. I've had it saved in my inventory,
Beautiful.
ready to
Ready to
fashion
go.
it when
Whatever we got back.
the woodcutter's beak axe.
Sentinel now has a finely etched and crafted woodcutter's beak axe, forged and probably not forged, but tinkered and built by Dr. Watts. Kind of the blade from the axe has been removed in the handle. Part of it has been chipped away, and he's kind of made like a unit that can kind of go over your beak, and you can hook around to your back that hooks it to your face there, Sentinel, so you can bash away with it. Right. So the party has returned. Anywhere else you would like to go with on the chariot?
That was pretty much the last thing I
Yeah.
needed to do.
That's all I needed to do, so... Unless anyone has anywhere they want to go. Let's back to the castle.
No,
All right.
I am good.
All right, you guys fly and flutter back to the castle, landing back at the chariot-like house. You get off the Crystal Pegasus chariot, and at this point, the castle is resprung to life. No one is frozen anymore. There are servants and guards, soldiers, guests, all these people scattered throughout this castle in kind of a mad panic or dash. It has been years, more time than you can even imagine since this place has been fully running again, and they are all trying to get themselves back into working, fashionable order. Upon seeing you, one of the bugbear servants goes, "You're the ones that let the queen take the chariot out, correct?"
Yes. I expect that's pretty obvious, considering we just came back in the chariot.
Excellent. She's looking for you in the throne room, has something for you. Told me to watch out for it if you'd come this way.
Sweet. Well,
Well,
Follow up.
after you.
You guys follow the servant to the area where you awoke the queen, and again, as you are passing through the halls, they are no longer the silent, eerie, dead nature. They are lively and vibrant. The walls themselves have seemed to light up with joy. And the palace is gone from this kind of like mystical oddity to a vibrant, beautiful place. And you arrive back at the throne room, and you see the Jabberwock is now gone. Has been taken somewhere you are unsure, but Queen Zatine is there, and she converses with the wizard that she spoke to earlier. And as you enter, she sees you and waves you over. "Oh, great, you've returned. I assume that you've done what you needed to."
yeah,
Yeah.
we got everything figured out.
Beautiful. Your a friend and the girl that I was trapped in have been fine. He requested that I do something with the body of the horned individual, the man there. We've placed him inside a wooden casket. I hope that is okay and proper with all of you all. That would generally be the customs back from where I come from. I assume it's similar enough.
That was the
We
best I know.
work perfect. Thank you.
Oh man, sometimes when it comes to multiverses, it can be very weird how people decide to do different things with their dead. I'm glad I got that one right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super great.
You are owed a map piece.
Indeed. We all know
She
that.
hands you a wooden like book cover. And as you open it up, put in this book cover between pages is the second piece of the map. From what you can tell, it does not connect to your current one, but you now have two of them.
Hey,
Nice.
Two of the five.
we're getting there.
We did.
Joel and Marilia are kind of standing by. The Darian's casket is by them on the ground. Marilia kind of looks, she's kind of looking down, looking at the casket. Joel's been tapping his feet. He says to you, man, I'm glad you guys got back. This place got like hella weird. Like weirder than it was when we got here. So I don't know about you. I am ready to leave. Like badly.
Somehow I believe that. I mean, we're done here, so we've done everything we came here for.
We are, in fact, I think, all set to go.
All right then. Well, I will be like, all right, have fun ruling and subjugating the people. Watch out for frogs. They're not fans of monarchies out here. I will just
Yes.
head out of there. Over to the little circle that I know will get us home.
I will say that I am not really one that has subjugated the people before. Occasionally, when there's been some unruliness here and there that would threaten it, but I generally try to welcome ideas and cultures and things like that into my realm.
Very,
Super cool.
very far cry from Warhol.
Wonderful. Now, I can send you back with a simple wish spell if that works for you.
I am okay with that.
I mean, well, let's be honest, Dr. Watts. Your options are magic, magic, or more magic. So you're picking what magic you want.
Yeah, like I said, there's not
Came
much of
into
a
this
lot.
place via magic. I don't really
Yeah.
understand the problem leaving the place via magic.
I did not have one.
Beautiful. Excellent. Back where you came then. Does that sound fine?
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm gonna kind of I'll be attempting to pallbear Darian's casket by myself. I'm a sentinel. You mind giving me a hand?
Sure.
You guys hoist Darian's casket up.
Water deep, specifically.
High
Or
water.
high water.
High
High
water.
water.
I was like, what?
Water. Whoa, we're going fairy.
I always forget that
Yeah.
it's a different name.
We
Now,
know it
it's an
exists.
interesting place because I am actually very familiar with the water deep, but I do not believe that's where you wish to go.
No.
No. High water.
Do you want to just go right to the Zafarian?
Be fantastic.
Oh, let's right to the Zafarian if you can manage that.
All right. I am very capable of doing that. Oh, and if you happen to have a moment with a few of my friends, they run a carnival there.
Yeah.
You can let them know that they can come home now, that they don't need to wander about anymore, that things have been restored.
Will do. It's like
Fair enough.
a regular thing, so we'll probably see them.
Excellent! Well then, with that, doodles. And as you vanish, like immediately you blink, and you are now in the tap room of the Zafarian. Away from the other. You have officially left the other.
Hey.
It is all quiet. I'll say it is all quiet in the tap room. The only person that is down there is Atuar, your dwarf friend, who
Mhm.
has made himself a lovely little home in the corner with all of his riches. And to see if you
Yes.
beam in, he looks over, he goes, "Oh, I thought you boys were going to the carnival tonight, and you've come back already."
I'm sorry. What?
What time is it?
"Well, it's only 11 o'clock here. You left but maybe 2 or 3 hours ago. I figured you'd be there until dawn."
Okay. That checks out. No, we're good.
Arthur's gonna sheepishly look
Well,
at
good
the
enough.
big custom sign he had made that says Marili's Menagerie. Marili's I can't even say it myself.
Menagerie or
Menagerie. Thank you, Menagerie. And
Menagerie.
kind of nudge her and go, "Oh, sorry, we thought you were dead."
Yes.
yeah, Joel kind of gave me the rundown of everything that
I was hoping
happened
he would.
after I died. So I'm going to go home
Understandable.
and I'm going to take a nap. Joel's like, and then we're gonna see Elise and Dale and Nugs, and I think Jayla's still in high water, and we're gonna have a party, and then we're gonna talk about pizza, and it's gonna be great because you're back, Marilli, and life is fantastic, and I feel great, and you feel great, and everyone here doesn't feel fantastic, but you know what? I'm gonna stop talking real quick given the situation, and we're gonna go. Love you guys.
Jamie Watts has
Sorry
walked
about your friends.
directly into his lab and shut the door behind him.
So you don't even let Joel finish.
I know. I would have done that as soon as we got it back into
Okay.
the place. And
Jamie
he
is
said it's been
retreat.
an hour or a couple hours. I would have been like, yeah, that's enough
Yep.
for me.
Yep.
Go back.
Joel kind of sees that and he's like, well, I found out he only did this because someone asked him to, so I'm not surprised there.
Oh wait, yeah. Oh wait. Oh, I did want to say something to Joel before I did that. Anyway, continue.
So, if you guys need anything, you know, with what's going on, you guys helped me a lot with Marilli when she was gone. Like, don't hesitate to say anything. Pazzo's got your back, you know that, right? I know, like, I'm not the coolest dude, and I say some pretty stupid shit, but I don't know.
Understand yourself. I appreciate it, Joel.
Yeah, I like Darian. He was a cool dude. He was a nice guy, and I mean, we had our differences sometimes too. But I'm sorry, I got what I wanted. I can't not be happy right now. But if you need something, please let me know. And he kind of grabs Murley's hand and oh yes, Dr. Watts.
Yeah,
before
I was
Joel
gonna
does leave.
come. Yeah, I was gonna come back out,
Okay.
and I'll walk over to Joel,
Okay.
and I'm gonna be like, so we're officially back
Yes.
in Elyssia. I took you to the carnival.
You
can
did.
attest to that. I was
100%.
nice to you the entire time.
Debatable, but yes.
Okay, so now I am no longer under any pretense of having to be nice to anyone I don't want to be, correct?
I'm not sure what your bargain was, but if that's what it was, probably.
Jamie Watts. Joel holds out his hand. Thank you
And
for
I
everything
will-
that you did.
I will take it, and I'll shake it, and I will slap him like a friend slap on the face, and I'll be like, yeah, and I'll turn around and I'll walk out back to my lab.
And Joel just kind of is like, all right, come on, Marilli. I'm sure there are a ton of people back at Pazzo's that are going to be thrilled to see you. And she just sort of looks at Joel and just says, yeah, I'm sure of that. And the two of them depart.
Well, we still have one giant elephant in the room. Do you want to?
I'm gonna
with this
look
tonight?
at Sentinel and say, "Do you mind?" And I'm gonna kind of nod my head towards the back door, indicating that we should probably put him back by the herb garden he took care of.
That's what I was
I'm
thinking too.
Yeah, and I'll start walking that way.
I will follow.
So you guys take Darian out back and can begin digging a hole.
Yeah, would you say we have shovels, or is that something we need to go get?
Nah, you guys have shovels. You're fine.
While they're digging, I'm going to kind of reach into Darian's pocket, make sure the card is still there, and then kind of like adjust it and set it up against the side of the casket. Inside
it is all
still, but
there.
it's up
It is
against
all
the wall.
still there.
Wonderful. For the two of you that are digging, and if Dr. Jamie ever comes out and looks at it before we like officially put it down, it is a King of Hearts with Ulfric von Liechtenstein written in quotation marks on it. And it's just sitting next to Darian.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
The
All
other
right,
card is
the
Secret
hole
Silver.
has been dug.
We'll lower him in.
All right. Darian's casket is lowered into a relatively deep hole that you are able to fill in next to his herb garden, where he will rest. It is complete.
Any
I was gonna
words?
just stare at the mound and just kind of say we should probably send word to Esther.
Yeah, someone needs to say something.
To her, but if you'd like to say something now, you can.
That's what I meant. Someone should probably say something to her. I've done what I've needed to do. I don't know. Anyone have any words? Or...
No. Seems like when we saying this, I'll do a lot of people for quite some time, but I'm sorry. I said it at the end there. You deserve better than this. You still do. You were a good friend. You made some stupid ass decisions, but you were a good friend. I'm gonna do better. And you had a lot to do with that. And Arthur's gonna turn around and walk back into the inn.
Anything from you, Sentinel?
I guess as just standing there, I'll sing a funeral song, like a Guardian Follow funeral song that I learned from Nugs.
I love it. There's a beautiful rhythm of clucks and chirps. Bird song radiates throughout high water, so people traveling by the Zafar Inn, or maybe even on the first layer, can kind of hear it. It's a very sorrowful, soulful tune that you emanate, Sentinel. And if Darian was here, he would have appreciated it.
Mixed with some Billy Joel quotes. Some
Billy Joel
lyrics.
quotes are also added in there per Nugs that she got from Joel.
Maybe a little bit of Elton John.
Well, Elton John, Sir Elton John there, the great
Yeah.
knight of the land. And Darian is laid to rest. I don't know, Dr. Watts, are you planning on going out and saying anything, or are you all good there?
Probably not
Okay.
now.
Okay. Yeah, I more meant later once everyone was all done and had left the vicinity later in the night.
Yeah, probably later on. Yeah.
Okay. So I assume everyone at this point will probably go to bed.
Try to.
Attempt to.
So everyone retreats to their respective rooms, leaving Darian's freshly dug grave still, a mound of dirt, present and fresh.
When at night, I think I'd probably kind of I'd be working on some stuff. First thing I would have done was taken the two heads, and I've put them in jars and filled them with liquid to keep them from decaying any more than they already have.
Yep, they're pretty decayed, but
yeah,
they're not decayed like to oblivion.
Yeah, and then I will start working on a couple other stuff. I'll realize that I need some herb or spice or something like that to like finish up the potion or whatever. And I'll walk outside to like where I would normally grab the stuff. I'll pick up the thing.
Yep.
I'll turn back to the inn. Then I'll turn back and I'll just like I won't actually look behind me, but I'll just like shake it once and then I'll just walk back into.
As you go back to go inside, Dr. Watts, you pass by your mechanical robotic friend, Nim,
Oh yeah.
who has taken residence out in the inn, and he is kind of headed out to the herb garden. He goes,
Oh.
"Ah, it is my friend, Dr. Watt. How are you doing today?"
Ugh, it's really nice to see someone who is, It's really nice to see something that is not annoying. It's good to see you, Nim. How are you?
Nim has been fantastic. Nim today went out and he picked flowers.
That's an interesting thing for you to do. Why were you picking flowers?
Because Nim saw other people doing it, and Nim decided that he wished to as well.
Yes. That seems about the correct thing for something like you to do. What flowers did you find?
Nim does not know they were flowers.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, if you find any flowers and maybe bring them over here and I can tell you what they are.
Nim would appreciate that. However, as of right now, Nim has another question for Jamie.
Sure, fire away.
Nim.
Oh, by the way, I made one of you. I figured out how to make one of you.
Ah! That is a new friend. Hello, new friend.
It can't speak. Never mind. It's not. I'm not quite there yet.
That is okay, Jamie. Nim has a question for you.
Fire away, Nim. I am weirdly a fount of knowledge.
Nim, from the second floor window, watched as your other friends dug a hole and put a box into the hole. And Nim does not understand what is happening. So Nim
Oh.
thought he would come out and see for himself.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know how much you really need to know this, Nim. It's not like you're gonna ever have to worry about it. But when mortal beings stop functioning, the ones that are continuing to function tend to take a few seconds to remember the things that it did while it was functioning in order to better help them function going forward.
Nim believes that he may understand, because at some point, Nim may cease to function, and the other nimble rights that Nim has known and created have ceased to function before him, and it was deeply saddening to Nim to watch his creations no longer function anymore.
Yep, that is a very normal experience, though I'm not exactly sure what function it serves in you, but
What function
yes.
does it serve in you? Or anyone for that matter?
Good point. Dr. Watts is gonna lean against the inn and kind of like looking at the grave and looking at the city and stuff like that and be like, what function does grief serve? Well, in mortals, again, I don't know why anyone would design this in you, but unfortunately, mortals are pretty poorly designed. And if there is an abundance of the emotion of sadness, their functionality deteriorates at a rapid rate, sort of like a coolant leak. So if you don't take the time to get it out of your system, it will build up and eventually create malfunctions in ways that you couldn't possibly. So that's why they do it. Now, is it always warranted? Some would say no, but it kind of depends on how closely your functions related to the function of the one that is no longer functioning.
Ah, Nim believes that he understands. You said something very interesting to Nim a moment ago, Jamie. You had said that you do not know why someone would program Nim to feel this coolant leak that you speak of.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Nim does not believe Nim was created with such a coolant leak, but a coolant leak was created upon Nim because there was only so many ways to process such a thing. Nim felt a missing, almost like a gear was plucked from Nim's chest and permanently removed from him upon the first nimble right that he saw destroyed. And then Nim was asked to create a second, and then a third, and then many, many more. And each time that Nim had to see one of those nimble rights be brought back to be created to another nimble right, Nim began to feel coolant leaks for them.
Well, that sounds like a malfunction, Nim, and
Is
I'll
it?
get. Yeah.
Is
For
it a
you, it is.
malfunction in Jamie and everyone else then?
Yeah. Unfortunately, mortals don't really get a choice in that, but I will get better. And I point at Nurse. I'll get better at that, and I could probably get rid of it eventually. For you, anyway.
Get rid of the
Just
coolant leak.
yeah, shouldn't really help
Nim
you. It
does
doesn't
not wish
really.
to lose the coolant leak. Nim wishes to remember his friends the way that they were and the times that we had together.
Okay. Well, I won't mess with your gears unless you want me to. But
I appreciate it, though Nim could use an oiling soon, eventually, as his joints have grown rather stiff in the coming weeks.
yeah, I got you. I'm gonna make it. I have some calls to make tomorrow. But in the midst of that, I'll be sure to get something for you. You can stop by the clinic, and I will get that figured out for you.
Perfect. Nim brought the flowers. As Nim saw other people doing this once before in the church, believe it or not, Nim was going to place the flowers on the dirt mound.
You know, that is a perfectly fine place to put those things. So feel free. I'll see you later. I'm gonna walk back into. Oh wait, where's Peck?
He is with me.
Okay. Hey Peck. Glad you're doing all right, buddy. I was worried that I wasn't gonna see you again.
I take excellent care of Peck. Come, Peck, let us put the flowers on the mound of dirt to let the mortal units know that we care.
That is certainly something to do, and I will pat Nim on its shoulder, and I will head back inside of the inn.
All right, and Nim places the flowers on the grave. All right, Dr. Watts, you head to bed then, or back to your lab for whatever.
Mhm.
All right, it is now morning. You all awaken, and it's a bright, sunny, beautiful day in Highwater.
Ooh, I will go over to. I don't know where Darby's at.
I'd probably.
Darby, where are you at?
Well, I only need 4 hours, I guess. So I'd probably be in like the gambling hall, just making sure Things are
We moved to a
good.
different place.
Everything is pretty much in order the way you left it, since it's been like 3 hours since you
So crazy.
took off to the
So
other,
weird.
to the carnival
Like,
tent.
just making sure that like nothing's like okay, sure. So I'm in the
It's just the
inn,
next
but
day. It's
yeah.
the next day.
Yeah, I know.
As far
But,
as everyone else is concerned.
but for me, it's been like a month, so I'm like,
Yeah.
so, where is it? Is there all the cards, all the dice, everything's good? Okay.
All right, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go over to Darby, and I'm gonna be like, you don't. You're gonna need this more than I do, and I'm gonna hand him the staff of striking because I do not need that.
Oh,
That was striking.
okay. I guess I'll go.
I mean, I could always break it, but it seems like it's worth more money than that.
No, I'll take it, I guess. I don't know how often I'll personally use it. One to hit things very often, but I mean,
Me either.
I suppose I probably would get more use out of it than you.
Yeah. And I'll be like, I'll just lean it by the table, and I'll be like, there you go. And I'm gonna head back over to back to the lab, technically.
You
So,
head on back to the lab.
take it. It requires two, but good to know.
Everyone
I-
kind of can awaken and make their way down to the tap room. Except for one quick thing dealing with Dr. Watts, as there is a rap at his door to his clinic/lab.
Clinic's open.
The door opens, and a very familiar voice to you rings out, and it's like I haven't seen this person in like a month, but they've seen me probably like 4 hours ago.
Yesterday, yeah.
As Elise kind of
Yesterday.
walks in, and she's like, "Wow, Joel kind of gave us the whole like rundown yesterday, man. You guys went on an adventure."
Unfortunately, yes, that is the case. I told you I didn't like carnivals, and I have one more reason to not like them.
Honestly, after what you told me, I wouldn't like carnivals either. But Marilli came back and all that other stuff. What happened? Well, Joel told us what happened, but like, what happened?
Well, something came back, that's for sure. But apparently there was a whole bunch of stuff going on. There's another universe or realm or something. I'm still trying to map it out. I'll put a picture of I take like a big picture from like a desk, and it's like there was like a drawing of Elyssia, and then like next to it is like the other, and it's kind of split into spots. And I'll be like, so apparently there's more than just this place.
Damn.
Yeah. So yeah, how are things going with the cure? Oh yeah, I didn't even get to tell you the name. That's what we're calling ourselves, by the way.
Oh, cool. We got a name now. I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally been like, she kind of looks outside, looks at the sun. 10 hours since you and I talked and you agreed to go to the carnival. So,
Yeah.
not anything too crazy to report. Oh, yeah, I came over here not just to thank you, but I got something else for you here. So,
Get up.
there's this guy. His name's Karnik. And he's kind of a cool dude. He's a half-elf, kind of like Marilli. Kind of not a very talkative dude, but he can be super charismatic, like with the men and stuff like that. So, you know, when I'm delivering pizzas and all that other stuff, I kind of let him do stuff, and not everyone takes kids seriously. Anyways, turns out Sliva had like another vault that he hadn't told anyone about. They found it last night, like 3 a.m.
Okay.
And we found all of this shit. And she just jumps down a whole bunch of crap. Mechanical pieces, gold, silver, wiring, treasures. Just crap. A bunch of crap on your table, Jamie. And they were going to throw it away, but I said that you'd probably want to, you know, rifle through it and then throw it away.
Well, I would like start pawing through some of it and be like, you know, I mean, there's something here, actually. You know what? Actually, and then I'm gonna be like, wait a minute. If I did, you know what? This is actually pretty great. Thank you. Tell whoever found this, give them I don't know, 5 gold raise. Tell them if they see anything else like this, that I will be more than happy to take it. Yeah, that's great. Great work.
Am I allowed to give raises if you're not around to give raises?
As long as we don't go bankrupt, yeah.
I already gave the guy a 5 gold raise because he kind of is doing more work.
Oh, well then, give him a 1 gold raise for making me happy, and then we'll just kind of keep it going from there.
Love it. All right, sounds good. I got pizzas to deliver. I'll go give Karnak his raise, and if he's got some time, I'll have him swing by. How's that sound?
That's great. Yeah. Make sure that everyone's doing well, and we finished up that messy business with the defactors. I don't know what we decided to do with that, but I'll probably have to figure that out sometime.
Nothing, because it's been 10 hours.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I will deal with that then sometime today. I will put it on the list.
Add it to that list. All right, see you, Dr. Watts. And
Have
Elise.
fun delivering pizzas. How's
Heads
the leg
on out.
doing?
Great. It's feeling fantastic.
Okay.
A little bit of a limp, but I'm getting used to it.
All right. Real
All
quick,
right.
I know I'm doing a lot of stuff, but I did have 2 more things I wanted to do
Sure.
before the next thing. I would probably tell Elise this so we don't have to roleplay it. But I need someone to send or I need an envoy to go over to Malik's shop and make sure that he has not done anything to that little girl.
All right.
The
They
little
will
werewolf
send
girl.
a message. Well, not a message. They will send a full envoy of your gang, probably a couple members, to Bridgetown to check on Malik and the werewolf girl that he had in his
Yes.
care.
Because I said that I would be keeping an eye on.
That you will.
All right. Other than that, that's all. That's the last thing.
All right, perfect. I know it's a bit late, but why don't we go ahead and take like a 5-minute break? Let's come back at 9, like 45, 46,
All right.
and we will keep going.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right, we're back. Hey.
We're back. I don't know if you can see my hand. I did a crazy hand thing, but
No. I
uh,
will transition back.
I don't know when Brendan cuts back to our faces because I don't have the stream on because it lags weird for me. So
That's
I
understandable.
talk,
Oh, yeah.
and then like 5 seconds later, the
Yeah.
same words
Well,
I
it's because
said.
there's
speak.
an
Oh,
inherent delay on the
consistent delay.
stream, so
Yeah.
It's like uncanny voicey
so it's
for
like
me. It's
3
really
to 5
weird.
seconds.
It's like
so-
when you're in radio, it's like you'd say something on the radio, then you go run to go to the bathroom, and then you can hear yourself do the
Yeah.
break you just left while you're running to go to the
Yeah.
bathroom. It's
It's like
really
you're in another
That's why
reality.
they
It's too
tell you
weird
not
for me.
That's why they tell you not to be on the radio when you hear the.
yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and we've got about 40 minutes roughly. So let's go ahead and click us back into the session. So everybody kind of goes about their day at that point. If there's anything you wanted to buy throughout the day, you can just message me later. We can work on all that gold and stuff, but you'd be able to do it at this point now. And do you guys close the inn or do you allow it to be open tonight? I guess is the question. To you, it's been a month not running the inn. To everyone else, it's the next day and there's a bar and a gambling hall to play at. So it is up to the party how they'd like to handle this as far in tonight.
I would
Oh.
keep it open just because I have a clinic at the
True.
bottom, so
That's
that
fair.
never really closes.
I mean, I'm not against running some hands.
Does,
As I keep my hands busy is probably a great idea. So
Yeah.
yeah, I will be behind the bar.
Santa, what are you doing? You were waiting tables before, weren't you?
Yeah. So I'll wait some tables.
All right. So life carries on the following day after your return from the other. Jamie is down in his clinic taking the occasional patron that comes on in and needs help. Darby is running a hand or two of cards, maybe sneaking a cheat in there once or twice to make a little
always.
bit extra. Always. Make a little
Always.
extra
I'm
money.
always.
for
I
the-
never stop.
a little extra money for the inn.
Second
Arthur
nature at this
is
point.
serving up drinks, which Sentinel is carrying as a waiter to the patrons around the bar, whether they're in the gambling hall or just in the tap room itself. Our Atuar is standing or excuse me, Orthatar, I think is his name, is standing in the corner where he has amassed his giant legion of just crap and telling these crazy stories. Well, Skippy prepares grilled cheese. You're not quite sure where Nim is. He has, as he seems to do, vanish into the inn's bowels somewhere, observing, maybe outside doing something. But he comes and goes as he pleases. And it is a relatively standard, pleasant night. Darby, why don't you go ahead and give me a sleight of hand roll? Let's see how your gambling goes.
What is my bonus? Man, I still cannot believe I don't have proficiency in that. I feel like I made a mistake somewhere. I don't want to go double check that. It doesn't matter though. That's pretty good. That's a 22.
Yeah, that'll definitely do it. You make 4 gold pieces in your gambling aspirations today.
Let's go.
You could either put that in the inn's coffers or put it into your own.
I'm putting in mine.
Of course.
I run the hall. This is my money.
It's your gambling hall.
Actually, in fairness, it probably would be smarter for me to put it into the.
One thing I will ask before we
get.
get too far, Arthur, you brought it up. Did anybody today send a letter to the association, the Guild of Magic within Pragla, where Aster is currently training?
Arthur would have wrote something or had somebody help him write something to send that way.
Okay. So Arthur or a collection of the party has gotten together and has sent Aster a letter explaining the situation. So that happened earlier in the day. So kind of the night drains and clicks on. There isn't a whole lot of crazy stuff that happens. It almost feels weird to most of you, maybe a lot of you, that you've just immediately snapped back into the same old after wandering swamps, autumn forests, lightning storm-ridden mountains, and finally a marbled palace. But here you are back in high water, the simpleness of life returning at the snap of a finger. And eventually, as the night begins to come to a close, the few patrons that may be staying the night head back up to their rooms, the upstairs. The other ones who've just come to enjoy the gambling and the food and drink, the grilled cheese that Skippy is making, have begun to leave. Dr. Watts, you hit your finger up. What's up?
Oh, I was nothing. Never mind. We had talked about something different. But okay.
And they begin to make their way kind of just out. There's still a fair number of people like milling about, but it's getting to be close to closing time. You guys will probably close in about an hour. So, is there anything the party would like to do at this moment?
I'm running counts, making sure everything's right. All the stuff's where it should be. Taking stock.
Yeah, everything, everyone, or there are still, like, everything seems to be in order. Like I said, there's an hour before closing.
Yeah.
Some people started to trickle out, but there's still a fair number of people that are there right now.
Yeah, they're just gonna keep his hands busy. He's gonna be cleaning like very clean mugs, like steins and stuff that clearly don't need to be cleaned, but still just kind of keeping his hands busy, trying to distract himself.
So Arthur, you are working on that. The inn is, like I said, it's still relatively bustling at this point. I will say that the front door opens. Dale from Pazos kind of steps on in. He kind of looks around for a second. Pazos Pizza is long closed at this point. Kind of walks up to the bar. Well, kind of crazy to me that this whole night is such a normal night from everything I've heard from Joel. All of you back to what you've been doing?
Trying to stay sane.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. It sounds like quite the adventure, quite the event. So, Marilli, talk about her real quick. Girl seems more or less normal, but she's a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Something off about her. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Off as in went through a traumatic experience and doesn't know how to cope, or off as in not the same as before?
Perhaps a little bit of both. Joel is completely blind to the whole bloody thing, obviously. Um, he's just so ecstatic that she's back and doesn't really seen it. Now, I've seen two very distinct things for her. Number one, she is. Well, one, she's not nearly as talkative or quite as friendly, snipping a lot back and forth. Perfectly understandable. I'd probably be the same way if I died and came back to life.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that's pretty standard from my experience.
How aware were you of Marillie's powers before her death?
Powers. She's a half elf. I don't believe she. Wait, didn't.
We've been
Now,
told.
this might be my bad memory, but didn't she assist in one of our battles in town where she healed people? She had some
Yes, she
slight
did
healing
use some
magic?
magic with you
Yeah,
guys
she did a
during
little
some
bit
of
of
your.
magic.
I'll also
Um,
say,
We've
being a half
also
elf, some minor magical ability.
we've also heard the stories of her bringing Joel back to life somehow. And not
Yes,
knowing
that's
how.
true. That's
So
true. As
we
well.
know she has power. We just don't know.
Yeah,
anything about it.
we haven't seen it firsthand, other than some minor healing magic, but
Yeah.
we do know the stories. Why?
Well, her minor magical powers, a bit of healing, a bit of throwing fires, lighting candles. Girl completely blasted a window open today. She got mad at, well, surprisingly enough, Nugs over something relatively trivial. Said, yelled at her, blew a window straight out moment it happened.
You think it might have something to do with the residual effects of what happened to her?
Possible. I mean, I'm not a magic kind of mage person. It's difficult to say. I don't really know much about magic in general. Nor am I a doctor. But she claims your doctor checked her over and she seemed fine.
I trust him. He's pretty good read.
Yes, I find it very strange. There's been a couple other instances too. I watched the girl hold her hand out and bring a broom a few feet from her, right to her hand, almost as if she summoned it like a magical ball or something. Just flew right from wall to her hand. Also, as Dale's explaining this too, there begins to people to begin to filter into the Zafar Inn that you wouldn't expect to be filtering in because you have an hour before you close, but the inn is starting to fill up again with a small group of people.
Okay. Are they like crowding around? Like, do they seem to have like some sort of purpose, or are they just kind of like just coming in to be patrons?
They're coming in, they're kind of sitting around the tables and stuff. If Sentinel, comes and gets like drinks and stuff, they're definitely of the shadier variety.
Yeah, okay.
We've serviced it before, so.
You have serviced them before. I'd say about 30 individuals have walked in at this point.
Oh shit. Okay.
Compared to the about 40 that you have in your inn currently. It went from being like, oh, people are leaving too. We're really busy again.
Strange.
So, a lot of strange things happening with the girl. Can't get Joel to see it. Elissa's too busy with the, underground stuff now. Nugs is Nugs. And I'm the only one with half a head to really see what's maybe going on. And I don't even know what's going on. It's very strange.
Well, Dale, I'd say not to ignore it. Having experienced what I've experienced, I can't say that your predicament may be similar to something that I've just experienced, and I made the wrong call time and time again. Friends got hurt. I let people cross the line and had to make a tough call. So I'm probably not the person you need to be talking about this, but I do appreciate you opening it up to me.
I agree. Well, Figured I'd come get a drink, welcome you all back, and just give you an update of how the first day went.
This one's on me. I'm gonna knock the table and kind of let him know he doesn't have to pay for the drink.
All right. Dale grabs the drink, and regardless, he kind of flicks you a copper piece as sort of just, I got your back, you got my back kind of thing. Arthur, you're getting a whole kind of mess of stares right now. A lot of people are kind of looking at the bar, but Sentinel, surprisingly, no one's ordered anything. They're all just there.
Can I help you?
They don't say anything back to you. They're kind of just all milling about.
They're all
I
just
think-
in the main hall, not in the diner or the gambling at all.
They're all over. They're in gambling and the main hall, but they are not gambling either. They are just there.
I'm gonna walk out of
Not gonna get any
the
bets, I don't know what the
lab,
thing here is.
Okay.
turning off my turning off my little clinic sign. I'm gonna
Okay.
walk, and yeah, I'm just gonna. I was like, "Hey, Sentinel, can you get us a table?" We're gonna.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. 4 chairs.
I'll set up something along the wall near our entertainment, and set up a table, clear it off, wipe it down, and the table with 4 chairs is ready.
Thank you, Sentinel. And I'm gonna say, not so loud that it's like a shout, but loud enough that it can be heard. I'm gonna be like, everybody out.
The other patrons are kind of just gathered around. They're kind of like, what? And a lot of the figures kind of get up and they kind of begin tapping on people's shoulders and saying, the door's that way. And they begin kind of ushering and leading people out until the inn is pretty much empty with the exception of the 4 of you.
We need to talk.
Dale leaves too. He kind of sees that something's going on. He kind of stands back and he looks kind of over at Arthur. He looks and kind of just nods. He goes, good luck with everything. And he heads on out.
Apparently, we do need to talk.
Tip my cap to him.
Not entirely sure what's going on here with all these people ushering our guests out, but I'm sure you have an explanation for that.
Yeah. Let's sit.
Sure.
No, why not?
Over. I'll sit down.
It's been a long time since we've had a discussion.
You guys all gather around the table that Sentinel set up for you with the 4 chairs, of which Sentinel, you don't really fit in, but you can kind of like nuzzle yourself in between everyone and, join the round table, as you would say. I will say someone locked the door also, because you'd probably want to do that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, we don't want more people coming in.
Well, there's people standing outside currently, making sure that nobody else comes in.
Yes, a few of these individuals who stepped in are currently sort of guarding the entrance to the inn right now.
So, that was a lot back there,
Yes. Yes,
and I feel like at this point, I have sort of just went along with a lot of what you guys do, mostly because there wasn't a whole lot of choice in them, but also because I thought there was a particular way about you. But turns out I was mistaken. So now I'm going to need to get things clear. Does that make sense to everybody here?
Crystal.
Well, for now, I guess.
Okay, good. So, I don't know how you guys see it, and I doubt you would because you're not a doctor. But for the most of you here at this table, you are not responsible for what you do. I am. Most of you would be dead somewhere had I not made sure that that wasn't permanent. Therefore, everything you do, I have to take on as a responsibility. I am a doctor, so I heal. Whether I like the patient or I don't, it's not up for me to decide. I just do. And over the course of my time in medicine, I have patched up gang lords and murderers, thugs and thieves, and your garden variety asshole with the same amount of care as I do the little old lady and the sprained ankle of the crying orphan, because that's what I do. But what I don't do is travel off into mystic portals full of random stuff with people who I can't trust. That I don't do.
That's
And
fair.
won't do. Now, I have never owned anything in my life other than the clothes on my back and the knowledge I kept in my head. I have no intention of leaving something that I am now 1/5 of the owner of. That being said, this map thing that we're dealing with still puts me in danger, which means it endangers my patients. So we're going to have to get this figured out, but we can't go further unless I know who I'm with. I'll start with the big one. Arthur, you shot a man. Not because you had to, not because he was going to hurt you, but because it was going to make life easier for you. We can't roll that way.
Fair enough.
That's not the kind of people we are. At least not the people we should be. We need to be better than that.
As little of faith that you have probably in this moment, I do understand that, and I do believe that. It is something I think me and you've spoken on before. It's something that I try to hope for myself, something I strive for. I was compromised. It's not an excuse. I don't do loss well. Darian was somebody I cared for. Darian was somebody I thought understood me. And I thought by just pressing forward and ignoring a deeply troubling and terrible situation, we'd be able to just fix. You could chalk it up to being blind, chalk it up to being stupid, but that's how I deal with pain, loss. And clearly it didn't work.
I don't think you're blind, and I don't think you're stupid. Well, at least not any stupider than most people. What I do think, though, is that you've been living a life where the rules didn't matter for a very long time, and murder was common. Like I said, I've patched up a lot of people worse than you, and they don't feel bad about the people that they murder in cold blood. I'm glad to see that you do, but that doesn't excuse the fact that we can't kill people because it's easier for us to do it. Like, I would take out a scalpel and be like, you think I can't kill people? You think I don't know vital organs and hit and where to stab? I could do that. When
That I
that
have no doubt.
assassin stabbed me through the chest and the poison was through my veins, I could have slit his throat. That's not what you do all the time. I understand that you guys have a little different moral compass when it comes to that, but you're not doctors. But you're also not monsters.
I'd like to believe that.
I would too. So we're going to need a little bit of decorum. And I will be happy to meet you halfway. I have not shed a tear about fighting in self-defense, and I don't feel bad for the people we've put down who are attacking us. I have told each and every person who's coming our way what it will happen, and they made the choice on their own to suffer those consequences, and I don't shed tears for them. Just like I don't shed tears for the murderer who dies on my table, as long as I'm trying to help. But if I say we don't kill a person, we don't kill a person. Is that fair? Do you trust me to understand the difference between a person that we have to kill and a person that you all want to kill?
Dr. Jamie is, again, you may not believe this, but I have never doubted. There was never a moment where I didn't trust your judgment. It's mine that becomes the issue. And I do appreciate you, instead of just abandoning us and going your own way, calling this into some kind of reasonable discussion, because it's not something I would have done. I would have tried to skirt it. I would have tried to talk to you privately, but no, this needs to be said in front of other people. I need to be better. It's something I made a promise over Darian's grave. It's something that I will hold myself to going forward, because you're right, we do need to be better. And if I'm going to pretend not to be the person that I was before all this happened, then you're right.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because that is necessary. Before it was assumed, now it is required. We don't just murder. That's not what we do. That also, association with violent, bloodthirsty murderers is also a pretty difficult thing to come to terms with. And so if anyone here has anything to say about LeBlanc and any particular reason why we should... Lestat, and any particular reason why any of us need to know why they're connected, that would be very helpful.
I'm just going to look at Darby.
I mean, it has already been brought forward once, when we first had to deal with the whole glowing amulet situation.
You're the one wearing it in public, man.
There's a reason for that, but I don't know if that's information that necessarily needs to be divulged yet.
Jamie just said it does.
I get that, but there's a lot to unpack there, and I mean a lot.
You gotta give me something. Something that makes me think that you're not working for this guy. Something that makes me know that
is fair.
You can be trusted.
How do I word it? For one,
I don't need all your life story. I just need something.
For one, although I do wear it, it's got powers to it that aids me. That's why I'm wearing it in the first place. It helps me do things that I couldn't normally do. Gives me a small boost when I need it. But if I were really working for Lestat, why would I have left Igarith in the first place if I was under him, or there was no reason for me to leave?
You'd be surprised where crime leaders send their people to go.
That's fair. But I don't work for him, never have, and have no intention of doing that anytime soon.
I'm going to take you at your word, Darby. And I hope that doesn't come back to bite us all in the ass.
Well, if there's one thing,
as a gambling man, my word is really all I have. That's all you can trust, because a deal is a deal, and that is where it stands.
Lestat likes to own things. He marks things he owns. If Darby was Lestat's, it'd be pretty obvious to tell, because Lestat would have marked him, not the object he has. So Darby walking around with something that Lestat himself marked, saying was Lestat's, that's pretty ballsy. That's more ballsy than I think I'd be willing to do.
I also don't necessarily keep it out in the open all the time. It's usually
a glowing amulet, man.
I mean, as hidden as it can be. It doesn't glow that often.
Say it only glows if you get the other map pieces close to it. Otherwise, it is.
I've also been
not glowing.
flavoring my usage of the amulet, or my amulet-based
yes, good point.
abilities as
True,
it
good
glows
point.
as well, because it has been enchanted by Gamar, but
Good point.
not that
Alright,
I divulged that to them, but
yeah, that's fair.
kind of have. But
I'm gonna say what Arthur had said. I'd be like, okay,
Yeah.
that's probably true.
yes.
Okay, well then, in that case, I think we can continue going on how we on. We needed to do it this way.
That is
I-
fair.
I totally understand, Jimmy, and I
Yeah.
see from your standpoint that something that I told Sentinel the other day, and something I'm going to be working on going forward, is I keep some of you specifically, and Sentinel at arm's length. Not that you will care to hear it, but something I need to say as part of my piece in all this is you don't really have, even though you steal from good or bad people. You don't really have a smudge. Your moral code, your compass, is solid, pointing north. It doesn't waver. Mine's been broken, and mine's been broken for a long time. I know which way is north internally. I do, but I'm not led. I'm not driven that way most of the time. And so people like you, people like Sentinel, quite frankly, scare me because I just don't understand how your mind works sometimes, and how at any moment's notice you just kind of see me for how I see me. So I apologize for that. I apologize for making this feel more like a business than what it truly has been, because losing Darian has really proven that I do care for you guys. It's probably the most meaningful relationship I've had in my life, which is probably the saddest thing in the world to say, because we're not that close. I don't know anything about you. I don't know where you're from. And that's not your fault, that's my fault. And I'm working on it. So, whether you want to or not, I'm going to be talking to you more, getting to know you more. Maybe some of that compass will wash off on me. That was the idea to begin with.
Well,
One good thing,
you know,
right?
One good thing. That's all you need to do. You know when my office hours are, so if you want to talk about stuff, that's certainly a thing you can do, though I'm sure Sentinel would be much better at it than me. Isn't that right, Sentinel?
I would love to talk to each and every one of you and get to know where everyone's from and their whole life stories. I've got time.
I'm sure you do.
Like-
Sentinel.
Like you said, Jamie, there's even though you didn't put it this way, there's a debt owed. You've saved my life a number of times.
All of
I
us.
owe it to you to at least get to know you.
Well, if I can collect on debts, I'm gonna ask that you save the kumbaya stuff for another lifetime. But I have a feeling I can't talk you out of it.
As
You
part
kinda
of
opened
my
the door to
as
that on
part
your
of my
own.
journey forward, that's no can do, Chief.
Ugh.
But I can. I will pay you in showing you the workings of some of the gadgets I have on me, if that'll interest you.
That is something I can make happen. Speaking of which, before we move on to other stuff, anything else? I open the floor. This is not. I don't own this place. I'm one
Oh, you own part of it.
fourth. I'm 1/4, so I hold it open.
No, you've actually been pretty quiet during this whole conversation, except to say that people can talk to you. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings?
Who are you speaking to?
Sentinel.
Sentinel.
I have two
Oh.
questions, but only one of them is from Dr. Watts.
I guess if we're airing stuff out, I guess I never got to say it, but Dr. Watts, I just want to say, I know you told me, as a doctor, you think through things logically, and I think it was good advice at the time, and we didn't know, what the information we had, but I've come to grips with it's okay that even if there was a possibility that Doomlands could have came back to life, like Marili, it's okay that we made sure that possibility wasn't going to happen. And I know you apologized for it before. I guess I just never got a chance to say, it's okay.
Or change. Doomlance is still alive. Lilyhammer died.
The other way.
Yeah.
Yes.
I appreciate you saying that, Sano. And you didn't have to, but I appreciate you saying that. And I will, like I said, I'm trying to get as many people to be healthy and fine as I can. If we meet any of more of your estranged and very, very strange world, I'll try to keep them on their feet. But I appreciate you. You have been the most interesting of friend.
You as well.
Well,
Darby, you said you had something to ask too.
Yes.
Vomit later, but any
uh,
more sappy stuff?
Not so much sappy, I guess. Do we want the more serious toned question first, or do we want the elephant in the room question first?
I have no idea.
You're the only one who knows the questions, man.
All right, elephant in the room first. The guys outside our door. What's going on with that?
Yeah, I'd like to know that too. That was kind of odd.
Yeah. I guess I probably should do something about that. Well, in the sake of transparency and overall vibe of honesty we have going over here, I sort of run High Water now.
Oh,
I didn't.
when
The
did this
underside of
happen?
Highwater.
No, I was saying I didn't peg you for pontiff
Boss.
type, but good for you for finding religion.
Yeah, that one could say that that's a case, though that was really not necessarily true. Yeah. So after we killed Sliva, and I say we, I mean you, but we killed Sliva.
That's fine.
It's
It's the royal we, right?
Yes, the royal we. I might have taken over all of his holdings and all of his people, and am running the criminal empire currently.
Oh, good for you, man. That's
Yeah.
pretty big stuff. I will say that is one thing I really like about you is your standards do swing both ways. You expect us to be honest, and there you are laying it in front of us. I can learn leagues from you because I totally wouldn't have never said anything. But good on you, man.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't really the case, in fairness. But questions asked deserves an answer, I guess. It was needed,
Yeah.
That's power vacuum. I get it.
and so I'm making it work.
Could be
At
in
least
worse
I'm
hands.
trying to.
Yeah,
So
honestly.
there you.
I'm gonna go
So
over
there you
to while we're still talking. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go over to the bar and start pouring 4 steins of beer while we're still talking.
All right. 4 steins of beer are being poured.
Well, it's great timing on that, Arthur. Because I'm sure you're going to want a drink after this wonderful question that you've been somewhat dodging due to circumstances, and probably is not a good time to ask either, but we're here, we're talking, So the whole... What was it again? The whole bombing of orphans thing? What... Do you care to explain? Do you have an explanation for that?
No and yes. I'm gonna pass the beers off to everybody. Your
Okay.
first question was, do I care to explain? No. Do I have an explanation for it? Yes. And I'm going to pass you a beer.
You're gonna skirt this question until the day you die, aren't you?
Is it? No, I will not skirt this question. It is not a time for now.
That's one
She's
I
a crazy hag.
did preface.
I have told many times before I was somebody different once. Whether you believe me or not, and after what happened to Merle, I guess it's far more believable, died after that event, and have since been different. Take that how you will.
S-
I'm
Lot of-
sure.
Lot of dying and coming back to life in this group, huh?
Speaking of that, we should probably talk about whatever came back with us from the other.
That is a good point. Dale did.
Yeah.
You were downstairs when Dale was talking to me, but he did account of some very strange events happening. And Marilla being more magically inclined, being more volatile, and
And
doors
so
change.
we're just gonna keep calling it Marilli, and we're just gonna be that's what the plan is.
Well,
I just want to know.
I'm not inclined to believe she's somebody different because she did seem to recognize who we are, have the same memories, that kind of thing. So I guess if the working theory is that that's not really, I guess we can go with that too. But the working theory was that it is. She's just changed in some way. Now she doesn't have red eyes and white hair, and she's not bursting for Thay energy. So again,
That's
my area of
without proof.
expertise kind of fails there because again, I didn't handle that situation very greatly, and I'd care not to drive Merle through a heart with my other scimitar. So as long as we're talking about how well we handle friends going crazy, I'm kind of not the best.
We all saw Marilli die.
Yeah.
Correct.
We buried her body.
Correct.
We know where that body is.
That's actually a good point. I'm not above. I shouldn't
could
say grave robbing, but we could
check.
exhume.
Yeah. Make sure it is truly there.
That's a great point. Did Jamie, Dr. Watts? They I guess to remove all possibility of it, to remove suspicion.
If that's a thing
I
we wanted to
just-
do.
Well, yeah, the only thing that I know for sure is that Marilli was dead. We buried her body, and we know where that is. Now, I've seen a lot in the other, and I'm still trying to piece some of it together. When I say a lot, I mean I've forgotten more things than you could possibly ever remember. I think that something is happening, but whatever came back with us from the other, I couldn't say that's Marilli. It looks like Marilli, and it talks like Marilli, and it has things that remember. It seems to remember things that Marilli would have remembered. But that being said, people don't come back.
Well,
Something comes back,
Yeah.
but people don't.
fair enough.
Well, that's fair.
Like I said, from my experience, I happen to differ, but I guess if you say something different comes back, then that works too. To remove suspicion, would you feel better if we dug up her grave? God, that sounds terrible. Dug up her grave?
100%. We should. I did feel like it's the only. Remember who we were fighting when Marilli was killed. Just to have another version of it just walking around doesn't sound like a smart.
No. That is fair. All my thoughts are, it seems like she needs to have some control over her magic. There might just be more in her than she even knows what to do with, and it's coming out in weird ways. As someone who does
Explain the
know
blue
magic.
hair like you have.
Exactly. I can't speak for her. I'm not her. I don't know what's going on. We've barely even talked to her since we've gotten her back. So that's something that might need to be looked into as well.
Yeah. Well, I can put some men on it just to watch Pazos on the off chance something gets worse. But other than that, I think digging up the body would be a smart move. Just to be sure.
I'm not against
Any
it.
objection?
You know what? I'm not the moral center of this group, so digging up a grave doesn't really bother me. So I'll say I'm in, but I'm not sure that counts for much.
we wouldn't tell Joel because
Oh,
No.
of course not.
No.
So, hypothetically, if her body is missing for whatever reason, we're still keeping it from Joel.
100%.
Okay.
My thing
At
is,
this
if the body is there, we'd be more concerned about keeping it from Joel, because if it's missing, he's just gonna be convinced that this is Morelli. If
That's
it's not,
fair.
I'm not on that side of the fence yet, but who knows?
Either way, we need to confirm the state of it.
Yes.
Fair.
That is fair.
I'm not against that at all.
No.
Sentinel, you're cool with digging up a grave, correct?
I mean, it's
You
not
wouldn't
like
have
I've
to
done.
dig.
Well, I don't know. I guess I'm in on it.
I mean, for all we know, Sentinel, we're just removing a grave that doesn't need to exist anymore.
It's very true. And I'm as confused by all this as well. So if it's investigating we're doing, then call me detective.
It's a good way to put it. Investigate.
All right. Well, then I think with
Time
that,
for hot and toddy.
Hot and Toddy's on the
investigation.
case yet again.
Morelli heist.
Oh god, no. We're not calling
Then I
it
will. I will say I turned off my clinic sign for the night. I'll take my drink, and I will be like, so for tonight, I'm off the clock. If any of you get sick, you're on your own.
That's fair.
Sounds good.
For Kips, I'm gonna raise
Kips.
my stein.
For Ulfric von Liechtenstein.
For the man with the antlers.
Oh, where's my water
I
bottle?
You
Arthur-
hear Nim.
Arthur will
I'm
slam his.
gonna say for coolant leaks.
I would say you hear Nim yell on the second floor for nachos.
Yeah, no, it's good to be back. It's good to be back.
Oh.
Strange
will
as it
drink.
is, it's good to be back.
And I will drink and engage in revelry with the group for the night, unless we were gonna do other things.
I would say, are you guys doing the grave heist tonight?
I would presume that we
Yeah, I
need to
kinda
get
figured
the
we'd wanna do it
information
quickly.
ASAP.
Oh, then I would not do that. I would drink and then we would go out and do that.
Right.
Yeah, I could
Yes,
figure we'd
we're-
do that and then figure it out.
Mm.
All right, so you guys
We'll go from there.
finish your drinks and you kind of have a little bit of team revelry as you make your way out. Jamie, the men from the Cure that were stationed out front, they kind of see you leaving, and they kind of eye it closely. But one of them steps forward. He is a half-elf, relatively lanky fellow, a tad taller than you, but decently built when you actually look at his muscles.
Mm.
Sir, I do not believe
yeah.
we've been introduced before. My name is Karnik.
Yeah, you're Ellie's right.
Please.
Elise is right.
Yes, you could say that. Just wanted to introduce myself. If you need anything throughout the city, I can be of assistance to you.
Thanks. Appreciate it. We do have a couple of things. I already had people look out at another thing back at Bridgetown for me, but you know what would be appreciated? Keep a few people eyeing Pazos. Watch the girl with the blue hair. I just write down what happens. If anything is out of the ordinary, you can just either bring it to me or slip it under the clinic door. Don't be seen doing it. And
I'd make it a pride not to be seen.
super great. And lastly, I think there's a blacksmith that Sentinel had been my large friend had been talking to, that was having some sort of issue, if I remember correctly. Sentinel.
Yeah, it was something with her family.
Mm-hmm.
Don't quite-
All her family's armor just disintegrates.
Yeah.
I love that this is being brought back up again.
All
Let's-
the callbacks.
Let's look into it.
Sure,
Give
of
me some
course.
more. Give me some more information on on that. It'd be nice to have someone who makes armor and stuff in the fold, so we can just keep things running smoothly.
It'll be done.
All right.
I'll have some men on the pizza joint. I'll have some men investigating that immediately.
Cool. Awesome. And any
Carnage.
Jayla's bad at sword fighting graffiti you guys want to put up, feel free to do that.
Uh,
I might have to take you guys up on that to see that
if
actually.
I may speak candidly, I believe that defacing the name of our current city's champion may not be in the best business of our group, but if that is what you wish.
How about just one graffiti, and you can put it on the Safari. Just make it nice.
Can do. You're the man.
All
Get some paints. Gonna, I don't know, put a butt on here or something.
Nice. All right, we can go.
Oh boy.
All right,
We'll
you
deal with that
guys.
later, aren't we?
You guys begin heading out of the city, making your way to the set of stairs that lead you down to the first layer. As
Before
you
we
ma-
leave the far end while Jimmy's having that conversation, I will stop Darby on her way out and say, I will tell you, but now is not a good time for me. So remind me later.
I did say I understand now is not a great time. I just figured a decent time to bring it up.
Yeah.
We were all talking. All right.
Fantastic timing. Remind me to find something terrible about you and bring it up when everyone is questioning whether or not you should stick around. That'd be a great time. And I'm just gonna walk out the door.
We've been through worse.
guys
Child
make it
murder.
to the stairs, and a voice calls out for you. Wait, stop! Wait!
Yes.
A hooded figure runs up, pulls their hood down, and it is Marilli. I will be 100% honest. When I saw you all leaving, I figured it was for nothing good, and you were possibly leaving the city, so I wanted to stop you.
Not quite yet. No, I don't know
No
if any of us
intention
even
on
have
leaving.
plans to leave anytime soon.
I see.
We have an inn to run. We can't exactly just up and leave when we want.
I need to ask you a favor.
Yes.
So Joel will not listen to reason.
Okay.
Dale won't listen to reason. None of them will listen to reason. I was buried, correct?
Yes.
Marilli was buried, correct?
I want to see where I was buried.
Well,
How could this possibly go wrong?
it's a great question, Arthur. Great question. I don't know.
I'm not
how
I'm
it
not
could go
gonna
wrong.
stop you from seeing a grave.
I mean, it's pretty convenient. We're heading there right now.
I was waiting for someone to say it. I didn't know if I wanted to be the one. or
Oh! Why are you heading there, if I may ask?
I don't know. We kind of have this working theory that maybe you're not really, and maybe you're still in the grave.
Glad to know that things have not changed with you, Sentinel. That the
Yep.
trauma does not manifest its way into your psyche at all.
I honestly thought he was gonna blow the whole running a secret criminal organization a lot sooner.
You know, I'm a little
Wait,
shocked.
you do?
To be honest,
Yeah, no,
I totally
That
forgot.
the whole time.
Yeah, I'm muscle.
Oh God.
You brought him and not me or Arthur?
You know, honestly, Darby, I would have lost this bet if you would have put down money on who was going to start and own a criminal organization before the other group knew. I definitely
I
would
would
put
never.
Sentinel and Jamie down as the winners of that one.
I mean, now that he said it, it makes a lot of sense that Jamie's doing it. Never would have put Sentinel down ever. Not in a million years.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you think you're trustworthy. Okay, so then
A
you
half
know.
raise,
You
half
know why.
raise.
So
Even
you know
Marilli
why
doesn't
who
raise
knows.
her hand.
Exactly.
And
It's like,
he just
okay,
kinda
so now we all understand my predicament. Let's get back to the course at hand.
Stand why, Jamie? I just pointing out the irony.
A deal is a deal, as far as I'm concerned, right? I don't step on those. I'm just shocked, you know.
if you guys are
Right.
going to the grave and you plan on investigating it, I want to see it too. I want to see the coffin.
Uh-huh.
I want to open the
Yeah.
coffin, and I want to see if there's anything inside.
You know what? I probably owed it. So I am going to take the shovel that was on my back and I'm going to hand it to her. But you're not going to do it for free.
I don't need it. And she hands it back to you.
Okay.
Uh,
I'm curious where that's going.
I will hand my shovel to Sentinel and then I will keep walking.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I'm just gonna hold it, like, I'm like, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do with this.
yeah, I guess we'll just head over to the grave then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
All right,
of
you
us.
guys leave Highwater, and as you begin to leave, a drizzling rain begins to sprinkle
Of course it does.
Yeah, of course.
the surrounding
Rain.
area. Thunder and lightning
like it's
begins
gonna
to
rain.
echo loudly as you bring Marilli to the tree that sits on the hill where Joel had her body laid to rest. And as you arrive at the exact spot where there's been some items and flowers placed there, looking as if somebody has been paying this place a careful visit and maintaining and caring for the grave spot. You pull out your shovels of those who wish to dig and go to start digging. But Marilli just stands there and holds her hand out. Her eyes begin to glow a strange yellow, and her hair becomes a glowing, luminescent, vibrant, as the very ground below you begins to crack and pull away. Dirt mounding up on the sides as the coffin is literally ripped up from the ground with what appears to be no force at all, just a girl holding her hand out. And before you is the casket that was laid in the ground.
We're gonna need to talk about that at some point, really.
I would love to talk about it. I don't know how I can do it.
Well, if anything I said earlier is of any indication, you're gonna need to learn how to control that before it becomes a problem.
I will walk over to the casket.
It is a casket, Jamie.
I'll walk over there with him.
Does it look as if it has been tampered with on the outside in any way?
Not from what you can tell.
Okay. Well. Alrighty, I will open it.
Jamie, upon opening the casket, you're immediately struck with a terrible smell of a rotting, decomposing corpse. And lied within the hole is the badly decayed remains of a girl that was once buried.
And I'm going to do a medicine check
Go ahead.
to double check to see if this is the same body that I also examined and put in there originally. The best I
Go
can
ahead.
tell anyway. Alright. Come on, big money. That is a 22.
Ooh.
22.
Dang.
Dr. Watts, you can in fact determine that this body seems to be the same body that was interned here. And very, very similar, perhaps even the same to the body of the girl that you checked out back in the Palace of Heart's Desire as well after she had awoken.
Well then, I will, stand up from the coffin. I'm gonna turn around to the girl I see in front of me, and I'm gonna say, so we're gonna have to figure this out soon.
Marilli drops to her knees, a wave of emotion rushing over her as she begins to cry, muttering to herself, What? What am I? And then, with a force the casket and body are crinkled up into a mess of bone and body and wood as tight as possible and are dragged down into the earth. Down, down, down. Further than anyone would ever put a body. Locked and never to be seen again. And that is where we will end tonight's session.
Wow.
Ah,
Wow. Wow.
we definitely gotta talk to her about that magic stuff. That is getting out of hand already.
Yikes! Big yikes!
Big oof!
Big yikes.
Omega oof.
Who knows what's going on?
Oh, Ethan!
What's so funny is I had planned for the end of the session to be Marilli coming to Jamie's
Oh.
door, knocking and saying, I want you and Sentinel to take me to where I'm buried because I want to dig it up. And you guys were like, let's just go dig her body up, I guess. I'm like, oh, well, this works out really well.
Okay. Don't need to force it. All right,
Exactly.
we're good.
Exactly the move. Exactly.
I was like,
the
oh,
move.
we're already on the same wavelength here. Let's go check out who the girl we picked up is.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
you notice I hadn't like said a whole lot to her or about her or not referenced her as Marilli a couple times. So I was like,
Before we go, before Brendan
Yep.
just
Yep. I was
cuts
actually
me
just
off
about
immediately
to.
before I say anything, we're not here next week. It's Memorial.
Yeah.
Don't expect a
Yes.
stream. I think
I
I
was gonna
said it
repeat that
earlier. I'm saying
myself.
it again.
Yeah.
But we will
Have
be
a great
back.
Memorial Day.
Starting our new arc on the 6th. It should be a full company, and we'll be meeting Swift's new character
Yes.
and
Yeah.
getting start
yes.
on the next arc of the game, which I'm very excited for.
And we'll all be level 6. It's crazy. Yay!
We
And
already
you
are
guys
level
are all
6.
level
We already
6
know
right
we're
now.
level 6, so
We're
we're level
level
7.
Actually,
Wait. Level
Are we
6?
level?
Yeah.
yeah,
Come
you
on.
should be
Yeah.
level 6.
Oh, we are. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
My bad.
5 rogue, 1
Actually-
artificer, so that's why.
I'm 4
2.
rogue. 2
Oh, 4, okay, 4, 2.
Yeah, 4-2.
Actually,
Because he's got the.
yes, you will all be leveling up to level 7.
Hey!
And
Look at that.
I will say this is the probably last level up for a good hunk. So get used to it, but
Oh, boy.
enjoy your brand new level 7.
Awesome. I will level
Finally.
up right now. That's awesome.
Yes, I'll go do that
Finally.
in a moment.
I can finally start doing the thing that I had planned to do from
There
the
you go.
start
Let's
of
go.
the character. Oh my goodness.